Tonight on the Black Channel, let the salt tears flow from these old niggas. The Black Channel is live. Unapologetic, unadulterated, and absolutely uncompromising. Greetings, brothers and sisters from around the world, and welcome back to the home, the haven, the stronghold, and the everlasting super fortress of intelligent black thought. We are the Black Media, and this is the Black Channel. And I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the voice of Black America, the Black Authority, broadcasting to you live from the only historically black college and university of higher education and learning in the cosmos. You better join us. And join us you shall, because on tonight's program here, folks, I got to set this up for you before we get off into it. Won't be but just a minute, but we need to have this bit of introspection and retrospection on this in its proper context. It was a decade and a half ago that we did something here that these other folks do not do. A decade and a half ago, I made a bold, ambitious, unapologetic, and uncompromising investment in the young. I was the first guy to say that it is about the youth. When it comes to politics, I'm writing off everybody. Include the civil rights generation is completely written off. We talking about the young. And now here we are, 15 years later. And the bootlicks and shills who were sitting up here carrying the water 15 years ago, when I told you all they are shaking in their boots now. They are terrified now. And I've warned you what it was, and I told you what was happening here. Folks, it all came down this week. It all came down this week. That our investment, that the battleground was not about the church, folks. The battleground was the young. The battleground was the youth. Well, Jason, you sound like you're really hyped about this here. What exactly is it that you saw or you heard? And what does this got to do with Bowling Ball Martin? Right there. Folks, you ain't seen Roland like this ever. Everything that we warned, told, predicted, prognosticated all these years ago, let me tell you, it's all coming down now. It is all coming down. On Roland's program, he went insane. He went off the rails. And it was all in one direction. He tried to make it seem like it was something else, but it was very, very clear what it was. When he got done with it, he just couldn't help but say it, what the problem was. We called them the old black media and the dead black media because that is their demo. Age 60 to coffin. But as far as the young, well, that's our battleground. That's our turf. Roland was sitting up here, and folks, let me tell you, he wasn't pocket watching, he was just hate watching. This is him on his program, by the way, Fair Use Butterball. This was him on his program, angry as he could be. He couldn't stand it. He was beside himself. And when you hear what he had to say, it confirmed everything we've ever said. He is acknowledging he's lost the young. Which means that by definition, you have lost the future. Fair use, meatball.
In 2016, Donald Trump increased the numbers of Republicans got from black men. We saw the impact of that in the 2018 midterm elections, and then we saw it again in 2020. So you may ask, well, what is at play? And you got the folks out there who, again, and I can tell you, I see exactly what the strategy is, because what Republicans are doing, what they are suggesting is that, you got a group of black men out there who feels as if no one listens to them, no one talks to them. And so I see how they begin to parrot the right-wing talking points.
Okay, first of all, let's stop here. Butterball. The Republicans, there's a group of black men out there, they feel that they're not being listened to. That black men feel they're not being listened to. Roland Martin sat there with Kamala Harris and the rest of them. It's all about black women. Black men need to shut up. And that whatever you're told, you need to just submit to this matriarchy. And that black men need to treat everybody like Big Mama and just shut up. So what happened? It didn't work. Because you're not somebody that we would respect, and we're not going to be quiet. We're the leaders. So he's talking about they feel like it. No, don't feel anything. Joe Biden sat up here and talked to everybody except black men. He told us that we need to sit down and bow for the Hispanics and then the Asians and everybody else. Now, he didn't go to the Hispanics and Asians and tell them that y'all better get with black folks' agenda. But they did attack black men. And they sent Roland out and Mark Lamont Hill and the rest of them gleefully and gladly doing it. I got a program from a couple of years ago on my other YouTube channel that Roland Martin's coming out against black men. The problem is black men are not sitting up here bowing down enough. Black men just need to go along. Remember Tiffany Cross. The problem is you black men who listen to Kevin Samuels and Tariq Nasheed. Y'all just need to go along to get along, because I'm cashing my check. And Roland Martin, the Democrats have promised me a bag, so I need y'all to do what's best for me, not what's best for you. No, black men have been completely ignored. And it's not a new thing. We've been completely ignored. Now Roland is like, oh, well, the folks he was ignoring, well, you don't want to go there with them other folks. Meanwhile, Roland has been carrying the water for the Democrats and bragging that, nobody needs to listen to black men on anything.
I see when I did interviews with The Breakfast Club and Vlad TV and Ebro in the mornings, when they jump on these message boards, and you could always see the same language. You ain't.
Now, did you hear who he just named? The Breakfast Club, Charlemagne, Vlad TV, Culture Vulture, Ebro in the morning. Ebro's still hating on me, but it's all good. But he's talking about the folks who talk to the young. Do you realize that? He's talking about the people who talk to the young. These are not old audiences. These are the folk who are constantly turning over and cultivating the ears of the young. While Roland Martin was sitting up here bragging that Joe Biden didn't need to listen to young black folks, that Joe Biden's got the 50-year-old and olders sewn up. All you young black folk talking about you ain't gonna vote. Biden ain't worried about you. It's about the old folk. Boy, look here. Old Roland Martin is sitting up here sweating bricks now. After all that huffing and tough talking he was doing, he's sitting up here sweating bricks now.
See how they begin to parrot the right-wing talking points. I see when I did interviews with The Breakfast Club and Vlad TV and Ebro in the mornings, when they jump on these message boards, and you could always see the same language. You ain't nothing but a shield for the Democrats, and you trying to get us to vote Democrat. I had one fool say, you were trying to get us to vote for Hillary. Well, fool, she was running against Trump. So what are you saying? You want a Trump?
No, you don't want Hillary either. Just because she's not Trump doesn't mean she's better. They are both the same. And Roland has been spending the last 2 decades of his life trying to convince the world that the Democrats are different than the Republicans. And every time you turn around, we say, by the way, where are they different? What have they done that the Republicans wouldn't do or didn't do? What are they doing specifically for us? And Roland's job is to do the bait and switch. You vote Democrat, and then he tells you, well, it could have been worse. That's the only thing Roland's been saying now for over a decade. Well, it could have been worse. I mean, if you vote for the Republicans, man, the Democrats land on your ass and they beating you down. But it could have been worse. And then eventually folk are not dumb enough to fall for that anymore. So he doesn't have a new stump speech. So he's just recycling the same old one, and it's pathetic.
Same thing. You trying to support Biden? He's running against Trump. And so I need y'all to understand what's going on. So a move took place today, announcement was made, where the right-wing streaming platform Rumble, now they trying to compete with YouTube. All right. But this is an absolute right-wing platform.
And how is YouTube any different? Do you all see these false equivalences that he plays? See, this is what happens when the Democrats have an incompetent operative. What's the difference between Rumble and YouTube except one is honest and the other one's lies his ass off? Joe Rogan, PewDiePie, Tim Pool, Valuetainment, who Roland just finished debating. We can go down the damn list. The Quartering. Ben Shapiro, Candace Owens, Steven Crowder. There's not a one of these alt-right, hardcore, white supremacists who doesn't have a presence on YouTube. Not a one. All of them became millionaires off of YouTube. While YouTube buries pro-black folk in the algorithm, doesn't even alert us when people are when our program is on, doesn't even alert them or notify them, which is supposed to do as part of their terms of service. It doesn't even alert the people who are subscribed to this channel when I'm on and I'm broadcasting. But YouTube is making millionaires out of one racist right-winger after another. And Roland's gonna sit here and tell you all that there's some difference between YouTube and Rumble. What's the difference between YouTube, Rumble, and Twitch? A couple of consonants. That's the only difference. But he's going to sit up here and try to play the Jedi mind trick. Ooh, Rumble, it's not like YouTube. YouTube and Rumble are the damn same. As a matter of fact, Rumble's probably a little bit better because at least you can see what they are. Roland is sitting here wearing somebody's nightgown that he picked up at Big Lots. They must have had that mess on sale at Bed Baths & Beyond. So yeah, wherever, at Lane Bryant, when they selling the moo-moos, he picked that up on the clearance rack at Lane Bryant.
Called Rumble. So they signed an exclusive deal with DJ Academics to live stream on their platform 3 to 5 times a week.
Oh, now it just sounds like Roland is jealous and salty now. Why did Rumble bring Academics the bag and Roland is still waiting for CNN to return his phone calls?
Now, they trying to compete with YouTube, all right? But this is an absolute right-wing platform called Rumble. So they signed an exclusive deal with DJ Academics to live stream on their platform 3 to 5 times a week. Now, this is the press release that they put out. Rumble, now this is a publicly traded company, Rumble, the video sharing platform, announced today that the popular media personality DJ Academics will live stream exclusively on Rumble 3 to 5 days a week. Known for his authentic voice, DJ Academics is a powerful culture entertainment influencer with 5.2 million Instagram followers and 2.76 million YouTube subscribers. The Jamaican American podcaster.
Oh, shucky ducky. Did y'all see that jump rear its ugly head out there? They're calling Academics a Jamaican American podcaster. Not American, not black. They didn't say black. They said Jamaican American. Oh, let that go ahead and sink in for you for just a minute. If you think this is accidental, the people that they choose, if you think the fact that we've been banging on this now for years and years, if you wonder why we've been banging on it for years and years and will not let it go, these are the white supremacists over there saying this. That when they go picking people, they're looking for individuals who have non-historical black American roots. They're looking for folks from immigrant backgrounds. Candace Owens. If they're gonna put some money behind somebody, if they're gonna drop the bag on somebody, they want to make sure it is someone who doesn't have roots to foundational culture. They want to make sure they got somebody who isn't steeped in the foundational culture. So they're letting you know right there, that's what they value. Being black isn't enough. You have to be black but divorced from our culture.
We'll cover the latest news in hip-hop music along with a satirical take on top headlines. Now, he says, I look forward to being one of the first to bring music and cultural conversations to a platform like Rumble. There have been many bad decisions at larger platforms where they haven't put creators first and they are disconnected to the community. I feel now is an inflection point for streaming platforms. I couldn't be more excited to lead this effort on a platform that puts creators first. But here's the question. Do they put black people first?
Does YouTube put black people first? Who puts black people first? The Democrat Party puts black people first? Somebody tell me here. Who puts black people first? Roland Martin wearing his diaspora dashiki. Who puts black people first? This is an insult to your intelligence. This is an insult to your experiences. Are they putting black people first? The folks you kissing ass on, Roland, they don't put black people first. Hell, they don't even put you first. You still begging for a White House sub assistant press secretary job. While he's sitting up here trying one smoke and mirrors after another. These folks ain't, who the hell is putting us first? Well, the question is, do they put black people first? YouTube damn sure doesn't. Twitch doesn't. Twitter doesn't. Who puts black people first? Well, Rumble don't put black folk first. And how are they, once again, you all knows the questions. How are they any different from YouTube you trying to shill for, Roland? You sitting up here ass kissing for YouTube. And how is Rumble one bit different from YouTube? How are they one iota different? What the hell is he trying to defend?
Couldn't be more excited to lead this effort on a platform that puts creators first. But here's the question. Do they put black people first? Now, I'm trying to explain to you, and I want y'all to be very clear. The Republican strategy and is to how can they appeal to black men, and they are specifically trying to target them. Hey, pull up the photo of...
Okay, first of all, what's wrong with that? The Republican strategy is how do they appeal to black men and how do they target them? Okay, what's wrong with that? Why is that he's saying it like that's a bad thing, people. Do you all hear what he's saying? Man, that's messed up. Don't you think that's wrong that they would be trying to appeal to black men? No, what's wrong is me voting Democrat and them proudly proclaiming we support everybody except black men. Black men are rapists, black men are abusers, black men are freeloaders, black men are lazy, black men are no good, black men, we need everybody over black men. Yeah, that would be wrong for me to do that. So do y'all realize the brain trick he's trying to play on you here? Roland Martin, and I told you about him, Mark Lamont Hill, and the rest of these black male feminists. Because they've never been respected among black men, they've got rancor and contempt for black males and black manhood. So they've got contempt for us as black men. So he's sitting up here telling you that there's something wrong with the political party, specifically targeting black men to appeal to us. That you should feel bad about that. That's a negative thing. Well, that's a bad thing. Take a look at them. They want to talk to black men. You should be against that. You shouldn't want anybody talking specifically to you. You need to follow behind your women and your children and white feminists and white daddy in government. You should be following behind them while Roland sits there in his struggle apartment in D.C. trying to pick up his little nickel bag. But telling you and me, he's literally telling us that as black men, we shouldn't want anybody trying to appeal to us because it's not like the Democrats are competing. Show me where the competition is from the Democrats or anybody else to specifically talk to black men. When the Democrats talk about black men, it's always a negative. It is never about appealing to us and what we say and what we want. We're the ones who pushed reparations. They're sitting up saying that's a bad thing. But this Roland can't say what the Democrats are doing for us. He just it's bad, these Republicans, it's bad, these Republicans. And he's not saying a word to defend the Democrats. It's the same old bullcrap he's been saying. Well, the Republicans is worse though. They worse though. No, they're not. They're both the same.
From the UFC fight this week. Republican strategy and is to how can they appeal to black men, and they are specifically trying to target them. Hey, pull up the photo from the UFC fight this weekend. Oh, you had this photo of Joe Rogan and Trump with Mike Tyson.
Yeah, he couldn't even get his stuff to come up here. He couldn't even get the picture to come up. But at the UFC fight, Donald Trump was there with Mike Tyson. So Roland sounds jealous that he didn't get an invite.
Tyson in the photo. Yep, that was this weekend. I want y'all to understand what's going on here. I need y'all to understand. The Republican Party knows black women hate them more than anybody else. There's no group that hates Republicans more than black women. But the Republicans...
That doesn't make Democrats good. So you all know this. He keeps doing the same thing. He's not making an argument for the Democrats. And when he's making an argument against the Republicans, ooh, Republicans bad, Republicans awful, that doesn't make the Democrats good. Notice he isn't saying one word about how great the Democrats are. Just, well, you know, the Republicans is bad. Hey, look, 2 thumbs up. Black women hate Republicans. And what have the Democrats done for black women? We can help y'all abort your babies. We can help you do that. That's the only thing they say that they've done for black women. Well, we can help you abort your kids. Well, you're giving everybody abortion. First of all, that's not a special set aside for black women. Second of all, how is abortion a good thing? Do you realize the trick language he's trying to use here?
I need y'all to understand. The Republican Party knows black women hate them more than anybody else. There's no group that hates Republicans more than black women. But the Republicans are specifically going after certain black men. Now look, they could try to play this, Rumble. No, we're trying to be legitimate. And see, let me tell you how they try to play it with me. So you know I got my podcast on iHeart's platform. Well, I was asked, because they have to ask me, will I do certain readings? Because I ain't just reading anybody's stuff. So I've turned down other advertisers. Rumble.
I don't believe that for a moment. Roland Martin is so damn broken, struggling, this Negro couldn't turn down RC Cola if they sent him an ad. So don't believe that. Don't believe that for a minute. And I don't believe that Rumble offered him anything either. So don't sit up here trying to freestyle. Don't try to freestyle now. So as you can see, Roland is mad as hell. He says certain black men. He's referring to young people. Young, because this isn't just black men. This young black people. You know, the people that Roland Martin said Joe Biden doesn't need. Now, all of a sudden, he's trying to play a quick game of catch up and say, hey, wait a minute now. Y'all shouldn't do that. Notice all he's bringing is shaming tactics. He isn't giving you a single reason to vote for a Democrat, to support a Democrat, nor is he giving you a reason not to be on Rumble. What, you're supposed to don't go to Rumble and stay on YouTube? Yeah, deal with the white supremacists on YouTube. Because YouTube's white supremacy, because YouTube is a white supremacist website. YouTube openly promotes white supremacy up and down the line. From Tucker Carlson on, YouTube is a white supremacist organ that promotes and boosts white supremacists in the algorithm. Because that's what YouTube does, which is why we can rattle off a list of white men who have become multi-millionaires. White supremacists, alt-right, right-leaning, Joe Rogan, Jordan Peterson, Steven Crowder, Matt Walsh, Tim Pool. You come to YouTube to get the blow up. YouTube blows up white supremacists. YouTube makes multimillionaires of white supremacists because YouTube boosts white supremacists in the algorithm. And we call it an algorithm, but it's not an algorithm. There is human beings and people at YouTube who hand select and say, okay, you're the one who gets the nod. We're going to start putting you on the front page of everything. So it doesn't matter whether the people are looking for you or not. It doesn't matter if the people's choices apply to you or not. We're going to expose you to Joe Rogan, even if nothing in your YouTube watch history indicates that you would be interested in Joe Rogan at all. You will be exposed to him no matter what. You will be exposed to PewDiePie no matter what. You will be exposed to Valuetainment no matter what. You will be exposed to the quartering no matter what. You will be exposed to Tim Pool no matter what. You will be exposed to Matt Walsh no matter what. You will be exposed to Steven Crowder no matter what. You will be exposed to Candace Owens no matter what. You will be exposed to Ben Shapiro no matter what. It doesn't matter what you watch on YouTube, you will be exposed to all of those names I just showed you over and over and over and over again. Even if your watch history indicates you don't want anything to do with them, YouTube makes sure you see that. So what's the difference between YouTube and Rumble? A couple of consonants. They are both white supremacist media sites. And Roland's trying to sit up here and play the Jedi mind trick and deceive you and hoodwink you into thinking there's some difference between the two of them. And there's not. So Roland is mad as hell. Roland is mad. He never got the bag. It didn't come through for him. He's still sitting around waiting. And everything he's saying is to sit up here and try to shame black men. So he's talking about Dan Bongino is on Rumble. Okay, and I just named all the folks who are on YouTube. He's not given a reason. There's no reason for us to support YouTube. YouTube doesn't have any loyalty to us. What the hell are you talking about, Roland? What the hell are you talking about? You see, if you come from a black first perspective, then you first and foremost can assume and understand none of these websites, none of these TV networks, none of these radio stations, none of these newspapers are our friends. They are all our adversaries. They are all our opposition, all of them. None of them are our friends. Why should we have particular disdain for Rumble? They're not any less friendly towards us than YouTube. They're not less white supremacist than YouTube is. So YouTube's white supremacy, see, this is the way Roland Martin always plays it. YouTube's white supremacy is good. White supremacy from YouTube is good. Well, white supremacy from Rumble is bad. Well, I say white supremacy is bad. Doesn't matter who it's coming from. Yeah, but Rumble's white supremacy is real bad. There is no such thing as real bad white supremacy. It's good or it's white supremacy. That's it. That's the problem. Y'all don't understand. There's levels to white supremacy. See, Joe Biden is low-level white supremacy, and Rumble is high-level white supremacy. Folks like Roland Martin telling you there's a difference between white supremacists. There's a good white supremacy. You need to support these good white supremacists. Well, they're not going to do anything for you. As a matter of fact, they're going to victimize you too, but at least they'll call you for the Christmas party and send you a card when they do it.
The whole deal. We know exactly what is going on here. And I need y'all to understand, okay, this is from Pew. See, y'all, this is from Pew, December 21st, 2022. Key facts about Rumble. Right here, while 20% of U.S. adults.
Roland just struggles with the language. I guess when you speak with a forked tongue, you can't help but to stumble over every other word.
Say they have heard of Rumble, only 2% regularly get news there. Overall, just 6% of Americans regularly get news from at least one of the 7 sites studied, and no single site is used for news by more than 2% of U.S. adults. Now,
okay, sounds like Rumble is just up there with everybody else then.
Here's the key. I need y'all to understand what's going on here. This is from Pew. This is not, you want to know who's neutral? It's Pew. Roughly 3/4.
Pew is not neutral. I mean, this guy right here, talk about brain dead, idiotic, or just a congenital liar. Everything in Roland's case is all three. Pew Research is not neutral. I've cited Pew Research, but by the way, Pew Research is not neutral.
This is not, you want to know who's neutral? It's Pew. Roughly 3/4 of those who regularly get news from Rumble, that 76% identify as Republicans or lean toward the Democratic Party.
He's not even reading the damn thing. It says identify as Republicans or lean toward the Republican Party. What the hell? He can't even get his own propaganda straight, and it's written right there on the screen. But second of all, would it make it any different if they were Democrat? Would it make it one bit different if they were Democrats? As if the Democrats are any different from the Republicans.
While 22% identify as Democrats or lean Democrat. Larry, this is Rumble's attempt to bring black people to Rumble to not just listen to his show, but the other shows on the platform. Game, recognize game.
And how is that any different from what YouTube does, promoting all these white supremacists here? Tim Pool, Steven Crowder, Joe Rogan. How is it one bit different? Wait, you see what it is that Rumble's white supremacy is bad, and YouTube's white supremacy is good. No, it's not. The other thing is, this is their attempt to appeal. He keeps leaving out the young. He keeps leaving out the young. This is their attempt to appeal to men, to appeal to black men. He keeps leaving out the young part. That this is Rumble putting their money where their mouths are to appeal to the young. And he doesn't. He sat here now and been talking for 10 minutes and hasn't said a single word or expressed a single syllable to justify why the young should roll with him. He is conceding that they lost the young. They lost them a while ago. If you all agree that Roland Martin and the old black media lost the young a while ago, I want you to hit me with the fire emoji in the chat room and hit the likes button. There's over 4,500 people listening to me right now live. It's over 4,500 people listening to me right now live. We need to go ahead and hit the likes. Seems like I got a bunch of Roland Martin supporters up in here. If that's what it is, you need to stand on that. But then I'll just wrap things up early here in a moment then. If Roland Martin's people are here, I'll just let you go ahead and hate. But if you agree with it, go ahead and give me the fire emoji and hit the likes button for me. Don't be sitting back skate watching on the sidelines. This ain't Tony Hawk. So Roland is upset. Roland is explaining. Roland is trying to explain to you why. Well, understand they bad folks over there and has not yet said a single syllable about what substantiates why we should be mad at Rumble. He hasn't said a single word about why any of us should be upset with Rumble. Not a word. What has he said so far to make us mad at Rumble? They appeal to Republicans. Well, Rumble is trying to throw the bag around. Well, they don't need to throw no bag around. You need to stick with the Democrats. Well, we're getting abused by the Democrats. That don't matter. As long as they're the ones you want to get abused by. The Republicans abuse you worse. I'm not trying to be abused by anybody. Well, they pay for my little struggle apartment in D.C., so throw them a little bit. You need to give them some support. Folks, if this is the best operative the Democrats can come up with, you might as well go ahead and tell Trump he can go start reshaping and redecorating the Oval Office now.
Now, Mustafa, again, let's go back to Pew. Go back to my iPad, y'all. I'm trying to teach y'all. This is what...
Roland talking about he's trying to teach y'all. Dude, if you don't stop, you ain't qualified to use that kind of language.
Back to my iPad, y'all. I'm trying to teach y'all. This is what Pew says. A closer look at news consumers on Rumble. 54% men, 44% women.
Okay, that's not a bad split ratio right there at all. But by the way, Roland is about to get into the part here that really bothers him. What he was gearing up and winding up for all this for, he's about to get now to the whole point, which is what I wanted all of you here for tonight. He's about to hit on exactly why it is that this academics deal with Rumble bothers him so badly.
Here's the key. Matter of fact, Anthony, put in one of these monitors. I need to point some stuff out. So give me the big monitor over here. Okay, I want to walk y'all through this because I really need y'all to understand. I need y'all to understand the map here. Because I'm trying to walk. And again, let me be clear. I don't know DJ Academics. I don't know him. I would love to talk to him. And again, He probably got a great deal paying him lots of money. I'm explaining to y'all what the Rumble strategy is here.
And what's wrong with that? He hasn't explained to us yet what's wrong with Rumble trying to get more market share. If Rumble is against black folk, don't you believe that black folk can tell it? Hey, Roland, if Rumble is really anti-black and is no good for black folk, you don't think that we can't tell whether or not a white supremacist is talking to us or not? We need you to explain it to us. We can't see for ourselves whether or not they legit or not, or whether or not it's worth listening to. So we can't decide for ourselves. We need you to tell us. The fellow who's constantly polishing Joe Biden's butt cheeks with his tongue all the damn time. We need to listen to you. We can't determine it on our own. We gotta have you tell us what we need to listen to. And so far, notice he still hasn't said a single word about what's wrong with Rumble yet.
Because you need to understand, who makes social media sexy? Black people.
Not you. It's black people, all right, but it ain't you. There's no part of social media that is sexy today because of Roland Martin. Can y'all imagine that? Y'all take a look at your screen. He says that he makes social media sexy. Are you kidding me? Yeah, there are those of us who get it done. It ain't you.
I told y'all, black people, by our usage of Clubhouse caused Clubhouse's market cap. They went from launch to a $4 billion valuation in 9 months. Black people, we make social media sexy. So here's the deal right here. This is Pew, okay? A closer look, news consumers. What I tell you, 54% men on Rumble, 44% women. Get news from more established social media sites. 48 men, 51 women.
That's only a couple of points difference between the two. He's acting like there's some big difference. Dude, it's only a couple of points difference. What the hell is he trying to do?
Targeting men. Now, let's go up here. Rumble. Look at the numbers here. Ages 18-29. Zoom in. 18-29, 17. 30-49, 32. 50-64, 31. 65 plus, 20. That means that Rumble attracts 51% of their people are 50 plus. 51%. Throw in 30-49. That's 83%. Why are they paying DJ Academics? Right there. 17. They want him to get that number up.
And what is wrong with that? That they are making a conscious effort to get their youth numbers up and to cater to what the young people want. What's wrong with that? I'll tell you what's wrong with it, because Roland Martin doesn't have any credibility or any pull among the young. There are no young black people. There are no college people. There are no black folks in the streets. There's no young black entrepreneurs. There's no young black social media. The young people don't fool around with this geriatric colostomy bag wearing bastard. They don't fool with him. Not at all. Not at all. So that's why he's worried, and that's why he's scared sick right now, because he doesn't have anything to appeal to the young. He's had decades, and he was the guy who said he didn't need the young. Yeah, see, Roland, you got all this short-term clout chasing, all that short-term bag chasing. He was trying to get the bag from the old dudes sitting in front of him. The old dudes are now all cycled out. Tom Joyner gone. Tavis Smiley gone. There's none of them left, and he's got no cachet and no influence with the young. The folks who got influence with the young people, over here. We've got the ear of the young. We've got the ear of the millennials. We've got the ear of Gen Z. We've got the ear of the high school students and the college students. We've got their ear over here. First, we started with Gen X, and then we just kept on going. We've got the ear of the young. Roland has no pull and no influence among the young whatsoever. You damn right he's scared and bothered by this. We got over 5,000 people listening here right now live. We are the voice of the young. And this is why Roland is worried, because he's supposed to be able to tell the Democrats what his strategy is to get the young people to listen. Let me explain to y'all what it is. You know what, Roland? Let me go ahead and put you on some game here right quick. You see, nobody really wants to hear an old sassy bastard do what you about to do right here. I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to go ahead and show y'all. This is Roland Martin's idea of being young and hip and edgy. First of all, take a look at how he dressed. He's not even dressed like the stepping frat brothers back in the 90s. He's not even dressed like the brothers, you know, back then. He ain't even prep dog like them back then. Dude, what is you wearing? That looks like a curtain. But he's trying.
That was this weekend. I want y'all to understand what's going on here. I need you to understand. The Republican Party knows black women hate them more than anybody else. Yes. Hell fucking no. Certain readings, because I ain't just reading anybody's stuff. So I've turned down other advertisers. Rumble wanted to run an ad on my podcast. Hell fucking no.
So that's Roland Martin's idea of being young and hip and edgy. That's his idea of that. That's his, he thinks that kind of profanity, he thinks that he's showing he's edgy, and that, you know, for the young people listening in there, they recognize he's not, this isn't your grandfather's, Boule magazine. This isn't your grandfather's Boule radio. Y'all notice whenever Roland Martin runs out of ideas, he starts resorting to profanities. Hey, Roland, I'm kicking your ass for the better part of the last decade, and I've never had to drop a 4-letter word. And I've been kicking your ass for the better part of half a decade. Well, no 4-letter words you can't play on network TV. And I've been whooping them for the better part of a decade now. So Roland thinks that he's competing with NWA, and he thinks he's competing with your favorite rap albums. He thinks that's competing with it. So you all notice I skipped over it before because I didn't want to play that, but I decided, you know what, let me just go on back and back this up so I can show you all. He thinks that that's being hip and cool. He thinks that's going to appeal to the young people. He thinks that's showing them that he's edgy. No, seriously, I really mean that. He thinks that's what being edgy is. So yeah, when he takes a look at those numbers, you damn right he's panicking. You're damn right he is panicking when he looks at those numbers. That is the kiss of death, because he doesn't have an answer for how he's going to get those numbers up. There's nobody trying to pay you, Roland, because everybody knows that your audience is the Easter crowd. Your audience is the Geritol demographic. Your audience are the people who are watching their prostates like a hawk. Your audience are the people who can't eat nothing with barbecue sauce because it'll spike their blood pressure. That's your audience. Your audience can't even run the streets. Bad knees. So there's a reason why folks ain't really trying to fool with you. You see, Roland, you missed your opportunity. You should have been throwing elbows to get that Colonial Penn endorsement. You should have jumped in right there when the getting was good, when Colonial Penn was hiring for a new spokesperson. That was your lane, not White House press secretary. You ain't never gonna get that. You smoking big crack rocks. You should have been over there trying to get that Colonial Penn endorsement, my dude. That was your spot right there. That was it right there, and you blew it. You blew it. You blew it. Now you sitting up here on YouTube crying and boo-hooing and singing the blues because you don't have an answer for how to get that 18 to 35-year-old demographic. Not 30, Roland. Stop dreaming. 18 to 35. You got no stroke, no pull, no influence with any of them. Meanwhile, over here, we run the yard. You trying to get people watching from our audiences, Roland. You didn't look to the future. You were just what you always were, a shameless opportunist sitting up here trying to figure out what he could get for himself in the here and the now. You mortgaged away your future for the yesterday, which was your today. Now yesterday, your today is gone, and you don't have a younger audience to draw from anymore. That's why you're looking at the Black Channel and the new black media and DJ academics like we're Merlin the magician, because you don't know how to talk to young black people. Sitting up there dancing the buck dance with Hillary Clinton. Hey, Miss Hilly, let me show you how to do the wobble. We gonna get in some good wobble.
Plus 51%. Throw in 30 to 49. That's 83%. Why are they paying DJ academics? Right there. 17. They want him to get that number up. Who follows him? Black people, especially black men.
Okay. He hasn't made an argument against Rumble yet, folks. But what he has done is he has shown how terrified and frightened he is. Now, you'll all remember I've been beating this drum. I've been beating this drum like a mechanic on a set of rusty brake rotors. I've been beating it for a decade to tell you all that we have made an investment in the future. We've made an investment in the young. I was the guy right here. I know a bunch of y'all got real queasy and real scared a decade ago when you heard Jason say it. You're like, oh, Jason, you're going to alienate people. We got to worry about unity. You heard Jason Black. I was the only person who was sitting up here unapologetically and uncompromisingly telling you that I ain't worried about unity. Well, I'm not worried about unity. Well, then what is Jason saying? He's not worried about appealing to the old church folks. Jason is talking to the young. Folks didn't have patience there, but the crop is coming in now. Roland is letting you know he doesn't have anything else to draw from. I know a lot of you got real queasy when y'all heard me say, you got to watch out for these old niggas. Because you see, a bunch of y'all were over the age of 40 at the time, and you didn't understand that the young folks were not as dumb as you want to tell yourselves they are. The young folk were way more perceptive than you wanted to give them credit for being. So when George Floyd got killed, it was the young who took to the streets. When Trayvon Martin got killed, it was the young who took to the streets. When Eric Garner got killed, it was the young who took to the streets. It was the young people who took to the streets, not the old, not the church reverend crowd. The church and reverend crowd was telling y'all, take your little young asses home. We'll go down to City Hall and we'll take care of this. It was the young people who took to the streets and put in the work. And we were investing in the young. We were giving bailouts and every damn thing else. While Roland Martin, by the way, I dare anyone to show me how many people Roland Martin bailed out during the George Floyd protests. Because my paperwork on the yard is straight. My paperwork on the yard is good. I brought my invoices right in front of all of y'all. My paperwork on the yard is good. I can walk the yards up one side and down the other. Don't gotta bring a shank. Don't gotta bring nothing. My paperwork's good. Niggas everywhere know me. My paperwork is straight. All I wanted to know was, were your charges legit? Oh, can Jason say this now? I damn sure can. The only thing I've checked on was to make sure your charges were legit. Don't be calling me and you in jail for unpaid child support. Don't call me if you in jail for unpaid parking tickets and you just got grabbed at the George Floyd protest. Don't call me for that. I wanted to make sure. I had to take a look at their arrest and see what they got arrested for. When I saw what they got arrested for, oh, you got picked up on the spot? Let me bust you out this jailhouse. Let me get you out this jailhouse. Tell me how many people Roland Martin put in work for. I can show you I put in the work. I can bring you the witnesses, the people who hooked me up with the bail bondsmen in counties across the country. My paperwork straight on the yard. Roland Martin abandoned the young. Roland Martin didn't give a damn about them. Roland Martin was telling y'all, take your little asses home. Roland Martin was sitting at home with a damn Chipotle, talking about y'all need to take y'all asses home. Y'all burning things up. Burn down your own neighborhood. We is our own worst enemy. Jason Black was broadcasting live day after day after day, setting the captives free. And then the DAs had to drop the damn charges. We bailed so many people out of jail during that movement, and I was just a part of it. I wasn't the only one doing it, but y'all damn sure know I was at the forefront. And the rest of your Hollywood celebrities followed me. 'Cause I lived this life. Meanwhile, Roland Martin was sitting at home just like he was, hiding out from Richard Spencer during Charlottesville, hiding out when Freddie Gray got killed up there in Baltimore. Nigga, you could have been there in 45 minutes, didn't move a muscle. You couldn't tear your big flabby ass away from Popeye's chicken long enough to drive up the Washington-Baltimore Beltway highway to get back up to the Baltimore. I've driven that many a moon. But he couldn't figure out how to get there, and he lives in D.C. Couldn't get down to Charlottesville, Virginia, and he's in D.C. Couldn't get up to Baltimore, and he's in D.C. And I found a way to get to both. And I live in Louisiana. No, you don't have any credibility with the young. You've had the better part of a decade to be able to build that credibility, and you ain't never had it. Now you trying to call on clout with the young people that you ain't got. The young folk don't recognize you. The young people don't recognize you. They don't know you. You never stood up for them. You never took up for them. How many of y'all remember? And by the way, I'm going to hold a contest right now. How many of y'all remember when Swollen Roland Martin sat up here? It was a couple of years ago during my program. I played it. A couple of years ago, I played a clip of Roland Martin saying that he didn't have to, that Joe Biden didn't, all you young black folk, all y'all young black folk talking about you ain't gonna vote for Biden. Biden don't need the young people vote. Biden is gonna get the vote from the 50-year-old folk and older. Because when he was vice president under Obama, that's all he got to worry about. He don't need the young vote. Remember when he said that? I'm going to tell y'all right now. I'm going to have a contest right now. If you can find that clip for me, whatever program that was, because I know it was at least a couple of years ago. I forgot what program he did it on. And folks want me to unprivatize my other one there. I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. But if you can find that, I'll pay $100 to anybody who can find that clip. I'll pay $100 if you can find that clip of Roland Martin saying that. It's not on this channel, but when y'all remember I played that years ago, he was sitting there cheesing and clowning. Oh man, we don't need you young folks. Biden has got the older people. That's all he needs to win the election. Biden just needs the older folk. He doesn't need y'all. He doesn't need any of you. Biden's gonna ride with the older folks. So you young folk talking about we gonna stay at home and not vote, we don't give a damn about y'all. How you feel now, Roland? That didn't take very damn long now, did it? That didn't take very damn long at all. Just a couple of years later, Roland is sitting over there sweating pinto beans, worrying about that 18 to 35-year-old demographic that he was turning his great big moo-moo ice capades from frozen built ass up at just a couple of years ago. Flip up that dashiki there, Roland, so you can start showing everybody the view like Lizzo. Y'all know her how she get down. Yeah, that's how Roland was turning up his great big Rikishi built backside. At everybody aged 17 to 35, Roland was shameless a couple of years ago. He was talking big noise a couple of years ago. He was talking big smack a couple of years ago. Man, he don't want to pull none of that now. He don't want to pull none of it now. Yeah, his attitude is every type of adjusted there is.
Especially black men. Oh, boom. Let's go to education. High school or less, 45. Some college, 31. College plus 23. Other sites, let's go on over here. What do these numbers show you? Right here. High school, 38. Some college, 32. College plus 30. What does that tell you? Rumble appears to largely white people, white Republicans, high school or less. I need...
Folks, do you see this number over here on the right-hand side of the screen? Other sites? Do you see that? What is he talking about? For some college, what are you talking about? These numbers are not some huge deficit. What is he talking about here? He's trying to make it sound like this is this huge deficit. But here's the other point. The other point is, what are you trying to tell us, Roland? That we need to acquiesce to the so-called academics? That people who've been to college, that black folk need to follow them? What the hell we gonna do that for? The only thing we have to show for it for following the so-called college-educated people is you. That's all we ended up with. HBCU attending, graduating ass kissers to the dominant society. That's all we ended up with, you and Michael Eric Dyson and Mark Lamont Schill and all the rest of them. Melissa Harris Perry, a never-ending sad parade of coons and bootlicks. That's all we got from following the so-called college people. That's all we got from you. It's not like we got anything great to show for it. It's not like we have anything of any significance to show for it. It's not like you all led us to the promised land. It's not like you led us to the promised land. It's not like y'all put any points on the board. Folks, how many points did Roland Martin put on the board with his college degree from Texas A&M? How many points has Michael Eric Dyson put on the board telling Bill Maher you ain't racist? How many points has Mark Lamont Hill put on the board talking about black men or rape culture? And he just doubled down on that since the Freaknik documentary. And he was too young to even be at Freaknik. When you take a look at the numbers there, he would have been 19, 20 years old talking about when he was a young journalist. Who was he working for as a journalist at 19 years old? Somebody better go back and do the math on this stuff. Well, I was working for my college newspaper. Really? Really, Mark? Y'all know he would have been scared of females anyway. Mark ain't trying to get near no females. Some females rub up on him. He'll be sitting there like Steve Urkel. Remember when what's his name? Charla? Whatever her name was, the one he was chasing after all the damn time? When she kissed him that time, you saw he froze up. Laura. That would be Mark Lamont Hill. If one of them chicks, if Freaknik started sitting up here and twerking on Mark, Mark would have sat there catatonic. How the hell you gonna fool us, Mark? We can see how you move with the females today, dude. That's what the academics brought us. Somebody tell me, name for me one battle that the black college educated class has brought us. Show me one institution of any value that the college-educated class has brought us in the last 40, 50 years. Show me how many battles they've won, because I can show you a bunch of them who have been co-opted and bought off and sold out to the white supremacists. I can show you that. Show me how many battles Roland Martin has won, him and the rest of his college-educated individuals with their Hotep degrees. Show me the battles that they've won. Show me the ground that they've gained. Show me the progress that they made. While he's sitting up here trying to play this educated game thing, what the hell is the point he's trying to make? Let me explain to you all one more thing. You all do understand that, by the way, it is your A students who work for your C students. Roland Martin loves degrees because the Democrats pay folk like him to tell us that you need to love a degree because that makes you a better qualified employee. But understand something. Bill Gates wasn't no A student. Mark Zuckerberg was a college dropout. Wasn't Gates also one? So the richest people in the world didn't fool with college like that. And Roland Martin's trying to tell you that somehow if you've been to college, that's somehow some endorsement of what, Roland? An endorsement of what exactly are you trying to say? Because he never says what it is, because he doesn't want to get into a conversation about high school dropouts in college in black society. You trying to who do you think you wagging your finger at, nigga? And this is coming from someone who been to college. Dude, I don't wag my finger at people who haven't been, because those of us who've been to college know it ain't nothing to brag about. It wasn't like we were sitting in there with fantastic individuals. We were sitting in there with marshmallow-built, immoral, worthless folk like you, Roland. Who we saw it then. You ain't gonna do a damn thing when you leave this classroom except find some white folks' asses to kiss. You ain't gonna do nothing. Those of us who are about the business said, yeah, forget this. I can't ride this for the rest of my life. It ain't gonna do nothing. There's a bunch of you right now got college degrees. Listen to me right now. You aren't impressed by no college degree, because you understand it doesn't mean anything. It is in no way a barometer of that person's responsibility, discipline, much less their adherence to black folk. I give you Exhibit A on your screen right now, looking like one of the curtains from a Ramadan meeting at the local mosque. That's not some qualifier or some verification of your stand-up character. So what the hell is he trying to say? That if you got more college-educated people around you, that you've got a better website? Let me tell y'all, folks, coming from the man who has done it, I have sat in front of Richard Spencer. Richard Spencer's got a couple of degrees. I have talked to Jared Taylor face to face. He's got a couple degrees. He speaks 3 languages. Richard Spencer's got a couple of degrees, and Jared Taylor has a couple of degrees and speaks 3 languages. Talk about David Duke. David Duke doesn't have a degree. David Duke has a PhD now. So what the hell is that? What the hell you trying to say, Roland? About folk who've been to college. Okay, and? You've been to college, and? And? What else you got? He's saying that like that's some great big huge prize to be had. Our biggest failures have come from the college educated set. Exhibit A is on your screen. While he's trying to sing to you the praises. Well, you know, if the website got more college-educated people, see, that means they're a better class of people and it's a better website, right? How many of you, show of hands in the chat room, if you believe that having more college-educated people means you have a better website and a better class of people on your website, give me the thumbs up emoji. But if you don't think that having a bunch of college degrees makes your website any better, give me the prohibited emoji, the circle with the line through it. If you believe that having more college-educated people on the website automatically means that website is categorically better, give me the thumbs up emoji. But if you don't think that having more college educated people on the website means that website is better, give me the prohibited emoji. Because according to Roland Martin, it makes it better. Why, you know that you have a better website because there's 7% more college educated people on it. Well, can't you see that's better? Well, can't you see the website is clearly better? And then all you got to show for it is you like Roland. You come out with a bunch of people like him.
Plus 30. What does that tell you? Rumble appears to largely white people, white Republicans, high school or less. I need y'all to see, y'all don't get, when you're watching these.
This nigga can't even finish a sentence, y'all. He's trying to figure out how to clean this up and make it acceptable, and he can't even finish his damn sentences. Shout out to everybody who has contributed to support tonight's program on PayPal, CashApp, Super Chat, Venmo. Big shout out to Famously Blacker. You back in the building. We appreciate that. So big shout out to you. Big shout out here to everybody else who's contributed to tonight's program here on PayPal, CashApp, Super Chat, Venmo. Thank you very much for your support. We roasting them here tonight to make this point that he's trying to tell you that there's some, you get some endorsement from going to college.
These announcements, you need to understand what you're watching. Now, let me go to the big number as to why.
And this ain't the big number either, by the way.
Rumble signed DJ Academics. Right here.
First, he said the number was 17 for age.
Boom. Boom. 67% of Rumble's users are white. 5%, Mustafa, are black. 23% are Hispanic. 1% is Asian.
Now, you all know that 23% Hispanic, that basically means white. That basically means white. So you're dealing with over 90% that's white. We all understand that. Roland didn't get the memo. Roland didn't get the memo. Roland doesn't know any better.
This right here, 5% black, 17%, 1829, that right there, Mustafa, is why Rumble signed DJ Academics to that big deal, because they want to target black people, but specifically black men in anticipation.
Okay, YouTube is messing up and buffering right now.
Of the 2024 election. Black men in anticipation of the 2024 election.
First of all, let's be clear. You would be an idiot and a moron to run a website based on if you were trying to influence just one election. That would be insane. You would be an idiot if you were sitting up here saying we need to get mobilized for one election. That's crazy. Now, that's the way Roland thinks. That's the way Roland thinks. But you'd have to be a world-class fool about one election. They're not sitting up here worried about one election. They're worried about the next 10 elections. They're worried about what that website's going to be in 5 years, in 10 years. So they're not worried about just that one. Roland wanted to jump off the subject of the young. Roland didn't want to discuss that at all because that's where Roland failed. And he doesn't want to discuss his failures. He doesn't want to discuss where he messed up at. Roland doesn't have any influence among the young. That's why Roland is scared to death right now, because if Roland Martin has less influence than DJ Academics, if Roland Martin has less influence than the new black media, if Roland Martin is, now for those of you who understand advertising, let me go back here so you all can understand. When you take a look at advertising, those of you who know advertising, you understand how that works. You understand how advertising works. Advertisers, when we talk about the key demo, that's age 18 to 32 in advertising. That's the key demographic because young people are most impressionable and young people are most likely to try something new. As people get older, they don't want to try something new. If they've been buying a Buick, they just want to buy the brand new Buick. If they've been drinking Coca-Cola, don't bring them no Pepsi. If they've been bringing Pepsi, don't bring them no Coca-Cola. As they get older, they get stuck and set in their ways, stubbornly so, in some cases embarrassingly so. It is younger people who are more likely to change what they do. So advertisers have always, since the beginning of advertising in mass media, targeted that 18 to 34 demographic. Guess what? Roland Martin has no influence among the 18 to 34 demographic, none whatsoever. So he's scared to death because why would anybody pay him to talk to the 18 to 34 demographic when Roland's demographic is over the age of 55? Roland's demographic is the Biden demographic. Why would anyone pay him to talk to a bunch of young people that he knows nothing about and has no appeal to? Nothing at all. Nothing. So Roland understands his days are already numbered right now. He is out of the loop. He isn't just out of style, he's out of touch. He isn't just out of style, he's out of touch. He can't make it. He can't make it. He's looking at the future and realizing we here in the new black media and people who've been stomping these grounds on YouTube and social media all this time, you see, we do things differently. Roland is out of touch. He's still trying to figure out, you beat me to it in the chat room, Thomas. Roland's still trying to figure out how to get his tickets on the Tom Joyner cruise. He's still trying to figure out how to get a ticket there. Roland's still trying to figure out how to be a guest on Soul Train. We speak to the young. We don't just speak for them. We don't speak for them. We speak to them. They speak for themselves. You see, I open up the telephone lines. Remember, Roland, back when Hillary Clinton was running for president, Roland took calls, but the calls was whooping his ass so bad, he stopped taking calls because he kept getting embarrassed. We've never stopped taking the calls here. We have always rocked with the young. We're going to continue to do so. Their parents don't listen to them. Jason Black does. Their parents don't understand them. Jason Black does. The new black media understands them. The new black media talks to them. We know your parents on some bull jive. We know your parents are teaching you pie in the sky and heaven and the hereafter, and you're going to college and seeing all your white and Asian and Latino counterparts who are being given everything they need while Roland Martin is sitting up here and telling you vote Democrat. And we're telling you vote black empowerment. I'm not saying vote Republican. You've never heard me say vote Republican ever, and you never will. But Roland is here to deliver the black vote to the Democrats. He's not here to tell you make up your own mind. He's here to say, I need y'all to vote Democrat. We'll vote Green Party then. No, you need to vote Democrat now. If you don't vote Democrat, you don't have other way. You got to vote Democrat now. Roland is here to try to deliver the vote. And he doesn't speak to the young black people. So he's scared to death because ain't nobody paying him to speak to young black folk. Let me tell y'all something. I have an issue of Black Enterprise magazine. It is years and years old. It's got Halle Berry on it because she old now. And on the back of it, it's an ad from General Motors for the Oldsmobile Bravada. Now, you all understand GM was very good for plate swapping. For nameplate swapping. So it was basically the Chevy Blazer. But back when they used to have the Toyota, when they used to have the Oldsmobile, the same factory made the Chevy Blazer. They also made the Oldsmobile Bravada. For those of you who remember your cars from back then. And there's a big ass picture. Tom Joyner just sitting there cheesing. Oh, Tom was just sitting there cheesing big. Boy, I'm telling you, it was incredible to see from him. He was just sitting there cheesing. I just went to Google Images. You can't find the image of it. You won't be able to find one that's so damn old, but I've got it. I would have to scan it to show it to you all. But Tom Joyner cheesing big in an ad for the Oldsmobile Bravada. And if I had known more about media back in the 90s, I would have realized, oh, hell, dude, you are RIP right now. You're driving a car that's literally called the olds. You don't have a future. You don't have one. Your days are already numbered. And guess what? A decade later, it came to pass. These old dudes from the 90s who were chasing an advertising contract with General Motors. You see, those of us who got clout among the young, you got to understand, young people don't have the time or the taste for chasing no ad contract. Young people want to hear somebody who gonna keep it real with them from the jump, or somebody who has no regard for chasing some kind of ad dollar. They want to hear from somebody who's going to keep it straight up and down. They can smell phony from 3 miles away. They want somebody who is going to keep it all the way real with them, not somebody who curves their words and censors what they say and sits up here and talks good about one person but not about another one when they both shady because you trying to get a dollar. The young people want to see somebody who's going to keep it real with no regard for their own well-being. In other words, see, here's the problem with you, bowling ball Martin. The reason why over here in the new black media we got clout and you don't is because we were willing to put it on the line and sacrifice ourselves. Let me tell y'all something. Roland Martin has had the same damn YouTube channel since he got on YouTube. I've been through about 4. Professor Black Truth has been through a bunch of them. Tariq has been through a couple of them. You see, we sacrifice. We wouldn't change what we said. You might agree with it, you might disagree with some of it, but we didn't do some great big ass huge compromises and you come back next week and everything's changed, or we tried to figure out some way to finesse the language or whatever. We just told the truth and took the blows. We just came out every week, grabbed the microphone, told the truth, and took them blows. And sometimes it's gonna cost you. You damn right. I've got 2 General Motors products sitting in my damn driveway right now. I ain't never gonna get an advertising contract with them. I'm never gonna get an advertising contract with them. And you know what? I'm cool. I'm cool on that. I'm perfectly aight with that. General Motors ain't gonna make me nor break me. If by some fluke both of them vehicles disappeared tomorrow, I'd have another something on 22 sitting there by Monday morning. Well, Monday afternoon because I'm in Louisiana, but you get the point. Ain't nothing gonna move that fast in Louisiana. If I get to the dealership at 8 o'clock in the morning, I ain't driving off till about 2 in the afternoon, so it is what it is. But, yeah, look here, it's gonna be replaced. Y'all, we put in sacrifice. The young folk can see that. It's like, hey, these cats are willing to sacrifice something because we actually believe in something. And we're willing to put it all on the line for it. Roland ain't never put a damn thing on the line. This big ball-built nigga wouldn't even leave his studio to drive up to Baltimore. I ain't gonna do a bunch of name dropping tonight, but you know those of us in the new black media who've been on the damn ground in the urban war zones. Driving by police with assault rifles, driving by armored vehicles with assault rifles, standing in front of the police with their guns up. I've got video of myself in Newnan, Georgia, with law enforcement from 7 or 8 different agencies sitting there. And I'm showing you footage of me with them walking by me with their guns out. Not their guns holstered, not their guns up, their guns out. On the ground. It can pop. This was after Charlottesville, not before. It can pop off any moment. You see me at Unite the Right 2, front row. All around the White House, all around D.C., it can jump off at any moment. And I'm standing right there. It can go down right here, Right now, whatever's about to happen is going to happen to you because you right here. These are people who are willing to sacrifice something. These are people willing to put it all on the line. Roland Martin couldn't even bring himself to take a drive in his VW Volkswagen Beetle down to Charlottesville, Virginia or Baltimore. He couldn't move a muscle to do it. He lives in that area. I had to come all the way from Louisiana and he lives there. I went to Charlottesville right after the damn riots. I'm walking up and down the streets of Charlottesville right after the riots. Got the video to prove it. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all saw Race War. Never mind. You seen it. I was there right after it happened. Still had police cars running around. Still had tape up from crime scenes up in that place. Roland never set foot on it. Never set foot. And young people saw you do that, Roland. That 17 to 35-year-old demographic, they were waiting for you to show your credentials. They were waiting for you to show that you was boots on the ground. They were waiting for you to show what you was going to put in the way. And you wouldn't do it. They seen your kind, Roland. You had your opportunity to stand up and you wouldn't do it. Now you gonna try to sit up here and talk to a group that you don't understand. And by the way, this little whining session you just did was the most pathetic thing. You didn't say a single word about what's good about the Democrats or what's good about YouTube. Rumble, ooh, Rumble bad, Rumble bad. And you didn't say a single thing about what makes them bad. Look, some of these they haven't been to college. Man, what does a damn 17-year-old know about college? People, this guy is the worst damn defense attorney you could possibly have. What does a 17-year-old give a damn about college for? They don't give a damn about that. Am I going to take a commercial, non-commercial break? Hell no. Hell no, we cooking with nitro up in here right now. I ain't taking no damn commercial break. Let me go ahead and keep balling and busting on him. Roland puts up another video here. He was mad right after the one about DJ Academics. Boy, he was mad. But take a look at what Roland is stomping for. If the young people want to know what Roland Martin considers to be important, why Rumble doesn't understand you, and the Republicans don't understand you, hey, take a listen. Roland Martin would like to tell you what really matters.
I'm not going to mince any words right here. For all of you trifling punk-ass people who sit out there and you make comments on message boards and you post on social media and you say stuff in barbershops and beauty salons and you say that Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson was performative politics by President Joe Biden. When you say that voting doesn't matter, here's perfect proof where a single federal judge can issue a ruling that impacts the entire country. I have said numerous times why voting matters, because guess what? Whoever is the president gets to pick federal judges. Whoever's in the United States Senate, the Senate who controls it, they get to confirm federal judges.
Now, do you all hear this? Of all the issues he could bring up, of everything he could name, of anything he could actually conjure to talk about, he's sitting up here wagging his finger over an abortion pill. You got a whole bunch of different ways you can get an abortion, and he's sitting up here saying, now the big issue for black folk, for young black people, the issue should be abortion. Now, Roland Martin is, y'all remember I reminded you, Roland Martin, Mr. Immigrant Background, he isn't advising that we set up abortion clinics at the border for all these immigrant females, these illegal alien females coming across the border. He would be sitting up here saying that this was Tuskegee 2.0 if we said, you know what, we need to see about these women's birth control choices, their reproductive choices, not their reproductive health, their reproductive choices. We should set up abortion clinics at the border. So these chicks, before they can drop their little anchor babies, that we make sure we've taken care of their reproductive choices. But for black folk, Roland Martin all of a sudden is Dr. Mengele. He wants, the issue you need to be concerned about is abortion. No wonder you lost the young, Roland.
President gets to pick federal judges. Whoever's in the United States Senate, the Senate who controls it, they get to confirm federal judges. And these people are there for life. And so for all y'all people who love to sit here and talk about who's a Democratic shield and this, that, and the other, do understand that these federal judges can impact your black ass every single day. There are people who literally are sitting in prison because some conservative federal judge will not look at the evidence that could free them from jail.
If somebody is in federal prison, they don't need a federal judge. The president of the United States can pardon them. So if somebody is sitting in federal prison and they shouldn't be sitting there, yeah, the federal judges can, but the president can get them out also. And by the way, that's only if it's federal charges. Most of our people who are sitting in prison are sitting under state charges, Roland. You trying this damn sleight of hand again. Most of our people ain't doing time in the feds. Most of our people are doing time in the states. There's not a federal judge in charge of that, Roland. Did y'all see how this little duplicitous lying bastard sat up here and tried that? Most of our people ain't sitting in the feds. Most of our people are sitting in the state. Most of our people are sitting in the county. And he's talking about federal judges. So take a look at him. I mean, he's going to just lie to the very end. He's going to lie to the very end. To try to deceive you right up until the very end. We need to worry about them federal judges. There's a bunch of people here. He's talking about folks who are sitting in prison because a federal judge won't review their case.
The federal judge will not look at the evidence that could free them from jail.
You know what? Joe Biden won't look at the evidence. Joe Biden wouldn't look at the evidence for Emmett Till. Carolyn Bryant is still walking around free. Joe Biden's Justice Department said ain't no case, ain't no violation of the law. Joe Biden's Justice Department will not review Daniel Pantaleo. Joe Biden's Justice Department will not look at George Zimmerman. I'm talking about the folk who ain't in jail. Joe Biden said, yeah, let the white supremacists roam free. It's their country. Joe Biden is the one who will not indict the cops who killed Breonna Taylor. He was the one, his Justice Department, and Merrick Garland and Kristen Clark, the judicial bedwench, they're the ones who let him go and said, yeah, ain't no crime here. You notice Roland ain't saying a word about that. Not one word about that. He's not saying what Biden has done for black folk judicially because he can't. He's talking about, oh, these are the people here who make these decisions. Not a word about Joe Biden. He's not saying anything about how good Joe Biden is. He's not saying anything about how great Joe Biden is. And by the way, do you all see what this big pork-built bastard did? You're trying to conflate an abortion pill to folks being in the penitentiary? That ain't even the same damn thing. That's not even the same damn species. He's telling you that some hood rat not being able to get an abortion pill is the same as your brother doing 50 years? Like, that's the same thing. Who the hell does that? Roland, did the broad tell you she wasn't going to get the abortion? Is that what happened? You wasn't able to talk her down? Was that it, Roland? You wasn't able to talk her down, so now you trying to punish everybody else? I wouldn't have to pay for that there if she did the right thing. Really, Roland? You real big on abortion, man. Did she refuse to go? She refused to go to the clinic and now it's like, oh, we got to keep this hush?
Will not look at the evidence that could free them from jail. There are people who have been sent to prison and they have been freed because of federal judges. Federal judges, the power that they have is enormous. If you need any further evidence that one federal judge in Amarillo, Texas can issue a ruling that impacts the entire country, but you still have these simple Simons out here who say voting is a waste of my time. I don't see anything changing. Well, guess what? The folks who oppose you, they are voting.
Do you all see how mad he is? Do you all see how ventilated he is? Boy, he's beating on the desk. He's yelling. He's screaming. And Roland better calm the hell down because I would hate to see him stroke out or have a medical event on camera. It would be gruesome to see that, Roland. So you need, of all people, you got multiple risk factors. I recommend you just calm your little built pork built self down. But do you see how ventilated he's getting? Do you see how excited he's getting? Do you see how vitriolic he's getting? He's yelling, he's screaming, he's beating the table. And do you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of Elijah Cummings, who was yelling at the Office of Immigration, but the little babies, they got the little babies in the cages. They're not black children, though they're illegal aliens, but all right. And John Lewis, for an issue that has nothing to do with black people. And look at how angry and ventilated and vitriolic and excited he's getting for an issue that ain't got nothing to do with us. This is not some pivotal issue for black people. So he's trying to tell you that if you can't get an abortion pill, because you can already get a trip to the abortion clinic, if you can't get an abortion pill, black folks, this is why we got to vote, because we need to keep our abortion pills coming. Black folk need to vote so we can keep our abortion pills coming in. That's the health care that Roland Martin got in mind. Fewer black babies. Let me tell y'all something right now. Let me say something here to this great big lollipop built bastard. Let me tell you something, folks, here. Let me explain something to you about this. Bowling ball, let me explain to you why you're out of touch with the young. You're out of touch with the young and you don't get it. And you never will. Because this is about the young. And the old black media, you have summarily failed to attract the young. Let me explain something to y'all right now. Abortion is an old civil rights hoe issue. I said it. Abortion is one of them issues for them old civil rights hoes. I said it. Ain't gonna back down from it. That was an issue for them. They were the ones worrying about that. That's not an issue for the young. That's not an issue for the young black folks. Young black people ain't out here stomping and trying to get abortion except that little old slutted out thought at your damn college. You know who she is. That chick who getting stretched out every weekend with her chest tattoos and her nose ring and her purple hair. You know who she is. Yeah, she's worried about abortion, but all the rest of the girls on campus ain't worried about that. That's an old civil rights hoe issue. You damn right Jason Black's going there tonight. You damn right Jason Black's going there tonight. See, that's why Roland stomped so damn hard for the little old church lady crowd. Damn, Jason is going in. You damn right. Roland is stomping for them so damn hard because for them, ooh, baby, I would have had to stay with that nigga if I couldn't have got rid of them kids. I would have had to stay with him. Well, what did you do instead? I had 3 bastard kids by Rollo and his friends down the street there, but for that first fella there, I would have been stuck with him. Now she's sitting there in the damn church. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Okay. She ain't telling you what she was doing back in the day. Everybody talking about Freaknik right now. Y'all don't want all the gruesome details. You really just want to skip that. But these old civil rights hoes know what they were doing. Abortion was an old civil rights hoe issue. Young women ain't worried about abortion. That's not a young woman's issue today. That's the old civil rights hoes issue. And another thing, teen pregnancy. That's an old Gen X hoes issue. Not the young females today. The young females today, you've seen teen pregnancy drop off over the last 20 years. So why they still trying to sell us on support for teen pregnancy and support for abortion when the young women ain't using it like that anymore? They just getting on birth control and that's it. But they're not sitting up here racking up a bunch of bastard kids like they used to be doing. Them old civil rights hoes, man, it wasn't nothing for them to be dragging 6-8 kids down the damn street. Like the opening theme song to Sesame Street. That wasn't nothing for them to do that. So Roland is caping big. Roland is caping hard. I'm going to say something else. Getting pardoned for dope dealing is a 1970s, 1980s issue. That's not a young black man's issue. And I'm not saying that I want people who shouldn't be in prison to be there. I've been trying to get folk out. I ain't never did that, but let's just keep it real. Donald Trump got Harry O out. But that's not a young black man's issue today, man. We ain't got crack houses no more. We ain't got no millionaire dope dealers anymore. The federal government killed them all or put them all in prison. And now the streets is clean. Well, except for the white folks' drugs. Now, if you want to get some pills and some Percocets, and the streets is overflowing with that. Fentanyl. Joe Biden's got the border open so you can get your fentanyl fix. But young black men ain't worried about going to prison doing no football numbers anymore. We trying to deal with the ones from the wreckage of the 1990 Crime Bill Act. Well, the 80s Crime Bill Act and the 90s Crime Bill Act that was the product of Roland's best friend, Joe Biden, who Roland hasn't said his name once in conjunction to the crime bill. How you gonna disrumble and then remind people, oh, by the way, Joe Biden made the crime bill. At that point right now, everybody's telling you, shut the hell up. At that point, they're telling you, shut the hell up. We ain't got drug wars anymore. The days of Alpo and Rich Porter, man, we ain't got that no more. The days of Frank Lucas are over. Alpo and Rich Porter is over. We talk about them. Why do you think rappers got to give themselves names of dope dealers who've been dead for 3-4 decades? Pablo, calling yourself Escobar and Pablo been dead for decades, man. Hell, they ain't even really trying to call themselves El Chapo. They ain't even doing that. We don't have any dope dealers out here anymore. I don't give a damn what city you in. New York, New Orleans, Baltimore. Man, the streets ain't lit no more. The streets ain't lit no more. Ain't nobody running around here with no $1 million like that. You can name the names, Nicky Barnes, BMF. Please, they ain't running around like that. The money gone. The money has been gone. The streets been dry. Joe Biden did make the streets dry yesterday. The streets been dry. You damn right. If you try to deal something now, there's so many snitches everywhere. Man, look here. There's so many. Take a look at your favorite rapper can't get Young Thug. Bobby Shmurda. You try to move some packets straight to court. You try to move some packets today. If you try to move any type of weight, and they gonna have 3-4 niggas ready to snitch on you. They already got that ready. It's gonna be 3-4 of them lined up. Hell, snitches used to hide. Do y'all remember back in the day? The dope game today is so weak. While Roland's trying to scare us about the dope game, the dope game today is so weak the snitches don't even hide anymore. Y'all remember Nicky Barnes when he snitched on everybody? Remember he showed up for court with a bag over his head like the Al-Qaeda terrorists. Do you remember that? For those of you who don't remember, go look it up. Go see that documentary, Mr. Untouchable. When Nicky Barnes told on everybody, they had to put a black bag over his head. Niggas ain't even hiding no more. Gunner was sitting on the damn stand, remember, with his suit on and his glasses. Gunner was sitting on the stand with his suit and his glasses. Yes, I am part of a criminal organization. We are a gang. Yes, we do deal drugs. Yes, we do. Can I go home now, ma'am? That was Gunner. That was Gunner. It used to be they would clear the court, remember? If you was a high-profile witness, Sammy the Bull or whatever, they would have to bring in the sketch artist. That's the closest we ever got. Today, you sitting there on camera just telling it all. Wow, really? Okay. We doing that? We doing this now? Remember the dudes who killed Extentacion? They got the 4 of them, and there was the big fat one with the glasses. Y'all could take a look at him. Bunch of little immigrants, but the little fat one with the glasses, boy, I'm telling you, they could tell, oh, you can't, your little big plump soft self, you can't do no time, can you? He flipped so damn fast. He was like, hey, look, I can't do no time. I didn't even tell them niggas to do that. I was just in the car. You all know how it works with the prosecutor. The first one to make a deal gets the best deal. The first one to make a deal get the best deal. All them niggas walking to jail like they all hard, like they convicted convicts. That first night in jail, nigga, you get some act right. He's sitting in there wondering if he can do this for another 30 years. They put him in jail. They put you in there with a fella who he been in there about a year now. So, oh hell, we got you with your new roommate. You sitting here looking at him like, man, am I going to survive the night? I got to go find somebody to tell on. Man, look here. I got to get a date. And I'm not talking about Olive Garden. Miss Prosecutor, what do I got to tell you so I can get a date? I can't sit here in jail with no date. Look here, I'm the first one telling, can I get a date? I'm sitting there watching that. Y'all understand, in the state of Florida doesn't have parole. The damn judge sat there throwing the damn life sentences at the other three. He told the first one, he said, sir, you were upset with the other co-defendant because you called him a snitch. You need to direct that anger at your two other co-defendants and yourself. I sentence you to life. He wasn't even the gunman. Here, hold this life sentence. Then they talk to the damn gunman. You get 2 life sentences. And the other fellow who was on Instagram flossing with the money, you get 2 life sentences too. And then the judge told them that life in Florida, by definition, is total life because Florida abolished the parole system. Florida abolished parole. So Florida, by necessity, when you get a life sentence in Florida, by necessity, it's a life sentence. They don't have parole in Florida. And the judge made a point to tell them that life in Florida by necessity is life because in our state there is no parole. Now, I'm not giving you 1 life sentence. I'm giving you 2 life sentences to be served consecutively. But you'll be eligible and you have to serve at least 25 years. The man just told you you got to serve life, but then you got to do at least 25 years. Really? This judge got jokes. This judge is working on his damn comedy career. He got jokes. He's got levity. And by the way, Florida ain't the only state that doesn't have parole. So he literally sat there and told them that you're going to be marched out of this courtroom. You will be taken to the prison. You'll be put in a 6x8 cell. There will be a steel bed. There will be a steel toilet. There will be a steel sink. You will spend the entire remainder of the rest of your days in that room. And then one day in the future, a long time from now, they are going to open the doors to that cell and you will have expired. And it is only on that day that you have fulfilled your sentence. Y'all can go on Court TV and take a look at it. It's on YouTube. I sat there and heard the judge say that. I'm like, he wanted to spell out to them what this is going to be. That he knows, I am sending you to this prison. All you've gotten is a prolonged death sentence. I am sending you to this prison to die. I'm sending you to this prison and you will never get out. You are gone. Don't worry about parole. Don't worry about rehabilitation. You gone. All of you, except the little chubby one who snitched. He going home in a couple years. He got to do some time too, but he's got a date. And y'all know if you ever commit a crime with Roland Martin, your ass going to prison because you know he going to be the first one telling. He going to be in in the first 48, they got to take you into the interrogation room before you tell. Man, Roland going to be sitting there telling in the damn car. He's going to be in the backseat of the car, boo-hooing, crying like a hoe. I just tell you, I just didn't want to go with them. I just tell you everything. It was Rodney. It was Bill. It was CeeLo. It was D-Lo. It was Lil Jack. All of them did it right there. I can't do no time. I can't do no time. I'm just telling you right now, they can see it from a mile away. The prosecutor's like, oh, he gonna tell. That's the one right there. He's got them little soft manicured nails and he likes to dance. Oh, he gonna tell on all of y'all. He gonna tell on every one of you. Oh, y'all know, like, on the first 48 when they bring you, like, what is that? When they bring you your cigarettes and that cheeseburger. They bring you the cigarettes and the cheeseburger. All they gotta do is take Roland to a drive-through. Roland will be sitting there on a little sketch pad, drawing out the diagrams, and this is where we put the body at. This is the house we used to deal out of. This is where we used to stash the dope. Can I have a number 4 with fries and a 7-Up? Meanwhile, you on your way to jail. Didn't you notice Roland wasn't in the paddy wagon with y'all? Didn't y'all notice? Didn't you notice Roland wasn't in the paddy wagon? Roland can't wait for no damn interrogation room. Roland getting Miss Meal cramps now. He gonna tell on every damn body. He gonna tell on everyone. So you can't scare us with the damn dope game. The dope game is dead. They either killed or arrested all the damn dope dealers, and all the snitches is running the streets. Ain't no money to be made out here. Not unless you're the Mexicans, and y'all see how they get down. Ain't nobody making no money on these streets right now slanging dope except the Mexicans, and you can see how they get it. The Mexicans play no damn games. Man, they just like, hey, look, we getting rich or killing everybody. It's just that simple. The new black media has spent the last decade supporting and talking to the young. We spent the last decade getting the attention of the young. Roland Martin spent the last decade mocking young black people. Remember? Roland Martin has spent the last decade mocking young black people. Now, all of a sudden, he wants to talk to young black people and wag his finger and tell you what you need or what you don't need. And the only thing he's offering you is lifetime abortion. Because that's what black folk need. We need more abortions. This fool talking to us straight out the damn 70s. When we talk about economics, Roland gets real damn quiet. He doesn't want to speak about what Biden's done for economics because it's going to be a very short sentence. He's telling you, well, ain't y'all worried about getting rid of these babies? This is who the Democrats think know how to talk to black folk, to young black people. This is what he thinks young black people are concerned about. This is what he thinks young black people are worried about. This is what he thinks is talking to young black people. I told them no effing way. Don't I sound like some of your favorite rappers? Roland is terrified to death. He is hating all over the damn place. He can't stand it because all the rest of us know how to speak to the young, and he ain't got a damn clue. At this point, there is no reason whatsoever for the Democrats or anybody else to pay him anything else, because his audience from here on in is going to be nothing but diminishing returns. He has lost the next generations. He's lost the next two. The millennials and Gen Z, he's completely lost them. He's got no pull and no stroke with them. They're over here listening to the Black Channel. They're listening to us because we know how to speak to them. They knew Jason Black was real when they was 12 years old, 13 years old, and they heard a man sit up here and tell them, look here to you young folks, I ain't your parents, but I got to keep it real with you. You got to watch these old niggas. And the young folk rocked with that. And because they've never heard me change my tune, never heard me chase a deal, never heard me compromise, they said, you know what? That man has always been like that. He has always kept it just like this. And I might not agree with everything he says, but I know he's real. He isn't just saying it because he's chasing a check or hoping for a bag. He's saying it because he believes this. And I agree with him because I don't trust my parents, and I don't trust my grandparents, and I don't trust the teachers, and I don't trust the clergy, and damn sure don't trust the politicians or the prosecutors. And here they are today, 10 years later, but they rocking with us. Roland is over there, and neither him nor any of his damn panels of people know how to talk to any of these folk. You got a whole damn panel of people and they're all clueless. They've aged out. They're out of touch. They're talking about bullcrap like feminism. Man, feminism is DOA. Abortion is DOA. Literally. We're not worried about no damn feminism and abortion. We got that under control. We're talking about stuff that really matters, and Roland Martin is bringing us the damn playbook from 1972. Trying to figure out if he can get a few more points on the board. He might as well have played an episode of Schoolhouse Rock. That would have been more relevant. No, we ain't worried about none of that. No, you can't scare us with any of this talk. No, you're not going to get us frightened. No, you haven't made the case for the Democrats or YouTube. No, we might not support Rumble, but there's no reason to support nothing you doing. I am not more scared or worried about Rumble than I am about anything else. So your effort to try to terrify people and worry people, it failed. By the way, Roland, you didn't even do a good job of articulating why we should be worried about Rumble. Did you all realize at no point did he show why you should be worried about Rumble? Nothing. He didn't show one white supremacist. He didn't show one racist. He didn't do nothing. I could have done a better job than him. He couldn't even make the argument good. The truth of the matter is, Roland, if Rumble was offering you the bag the way they're offering Academic the bag, you would slip out of that damn dashiki like a triple X-rated film, getting unclothed and waddle your big ass up out of there, and you know it. And we all know it too. You're so damn shameless. If Rumble was offering you 7 figures, please, Roland Martin would be doing the damn strip tease every night on Rumble, which, granted, would be unappealing, but Roland Martin would be doing the whole damn thing. He's just upset because there ain't a bag for him. And Roland, they might have offered it to you if you could have proven what I said years ago. You don't have an audience. You can't close the deal. You are not relevant. You're only relevant to the NAACP TD Jakes crowd. But to the young, you don't exist. And you never will. Your time is come and gone and sunsetted. They gonna be rocking with us to the end of time. However, you might disagree. There might be some of you who feel differently about it. Therefore, we're going to take a very brief commercial, non-commercial break. And when we come back, the telephone lines will be open and you are invited to join us. In the meantime, I want to thank everyone, and I do mean everybody who has contributed to support tonight's program on PayPal, CashApp, Super Chat, Venmo. Big shout out to B1 Media is a lifesaver, and Mr. Richburg, thank you very much for your support tonight. We appreciate that. Mark B. Chadwick and everyone else who has contributed to support tonight's program. We're going to take a very brief commercial, non-commercial break. When we come back, what sets us apart from Roland Martin, we're going to open up the telephone lines. This is the Black Channel.
Venark Motion Pictures, your leading production house for handmade, high-end movies for us, by us. Grab your popcorn and drinks as Venark Motion Pictures presents you with binge-worthy visual entertainment that will leave you breathless. Stream all our titles for free. Visit our website to see Noxious, Noxious 2, Cold Case, and Valley of the Queens. Planned Obsolescence. These power-packed, innovative, and unforgettable flicks tick the boxes of all you could ever want in a movie. And coming soon to keep you at the edge of your seat. Await our most anticipated movie release, Escape from Velocity. Vidart Motion Pictures. Broadcast excellence. Look for us on Tubi, Amazon, and wherever movies are streamed.
D23 lines can help you find your flow. Revolutionizing healthcare to self-care. D23, making a healthier
Order yours today to experience all the benefits of Ash Kickin' Natural Body Butter. With skin so smooth and soft, you'll thank us for it. Shop Ash Kickin' online. That's ASHKICKIN.com.
Greetings, brothers and sisters. My name is Joe Jackson. I'm a foundational Black American, and I entered the field of IT with the goal of helping the family globally. The industry's been changing, and I've learned a lot. But how did we get here? How do we navigate issues we face in the workplace? How can we get our house in order? Read The Concept and Intricacies of Being Black in IT, now on Amazon, as well as the best-selling Guide to Being Black in IT. Go to beingblackInIT.com.
More Threads. A brand owned by a descendant of Black American freedmen was created to uniquely address Black American history and contributions that have been intentionally hidden and suppressed. Use their apparel and more to learn and share the Black American history of Black inventions, heroes, towns, Black business districts, and more. Sign up and support not only a Black-owned business but a movement at www.morethread.co.
Hi, this is Brenda Starr, creator of Poetry with a Purpose and author of the book Pressed But Not Crushed. Pressed But Not Crushed is an anthology of political poems that address current and historical issues in American descendants of slave population and African American population. The book describes slaveries and its residuals, Jim Crow segregation, social depredation, and other relevant issues to American descendants of slaves and African Americans, including the current political climate that does not address our issues.
This is the Black Channel, the voice of young Black America, and I am your host, your brother, your humble servant. The Black Authority and the telephone lines are now open. The number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933. Your personal access code to the blackest radio program in existence, the only one of its kind on planet Earth today. And just to show you all how out of touch these people are, Rolling Stone magazine did a story about this. And like I say, I am not one of these big fans of DJ Academics. I'm not here to endorse him by any stretch of the imagination. You all know that I'm well aware of what the issues are, which is why I was pointing that out earlier. But in this article from Rolling Stone, they got a story by Andre Gee. And if you go take a look at what he talked about here, boy, this guy's a piece of work. But you can see from the title of his article, Rumble's deal with academics is a sign of the hip-hop world's right-wing impulse. Now, I wonder what he considers to be, quote, right-wing. Because if you're saying that there's something wrong with being right-wing, I wonder what he considers to be the way you should be. I'm just wondering, how long will it be before the LGBT and feminism and abortion make their way into things? I wonder. I'm going to skip down into the article here because the rest of it's just fluff about the deal. But down here in the article, it says, hip-hop as a community is more conservative than many fans would like to admit. The recent documentary, Fight the Power, How Hip-Hop Changed the World, showed that there are many anti-establishment artists who deftly call out white supremacy and contribute to left-leaning causes. but too many artists in the major label orbit could be read as a lyrical Dow right after Mitch McConnell's heart, honoring profit above all, demeaning poor people, all while espousing misogynistic and anti-LGBT ideas. Well, it didn't take too damn long for that one to show up now, did it? Didn't take any time for that one to make its way through. So yeah, his issue is, why is it more black men are not open to a gay experience? Okay, that's his issue. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and throw this up here on the screen so you all can see it. We'll go ahead and toss it up so you all can see it there. As you can see, demeaning poor people above all, while espousing misogynistic and anti-LGBT ideas. Even more overtly, rappers have been inching closer to conservatives for many years. It may seem incongruous to see Meek Mill. What are y'all doing here? They're messing up my flow over here. I'm not going to reload my blocker for that, but you can see what they're talking about there. So we got the ad for it, but they're talking about they're having anti-LGBT ideas. It may seem incongruous to see Meek Mill hanging with Trump ally Robert Kraft, Kanye West joining forces with Nazi apologists and commentators like Candace Owens, or Lil Pump campaigning for Donald Trump. But the brand of capitalist patriarchy at the root of modern conservatism has long permeated hip-hop. Well, yeah, it didn't take that long to catch up. Now, I told y'all, patriarchy, feminism, LGBT. Yeah, see, that's an acceptable Negro for them. That's acceptable for them. Didn't take that long to show up. He goes on to say that perhaps it reached a fever pitch with the former president, who symbolized much of what mainstream rappers bragged about, only to reveal how those traits are entangled with fascism, like Joe Biden's not a fascist. There was plenty of anti-Trump motion from the rap world, but his off-color energy and economy-first ethos appealed to a segment of hip-hop fans that ultimately aren't that concerned with much more than money and bravado. And meanwhile, Roland Martin and his friends ain't concerned about a damn thing except abortion, LGBT, and illegal aliens. That's all they're talking about. If you're black, you need to vote for anything but blackness. All they got to offer you is abortion and LGBT. And so does this writer, Andre Gee. He doesn't have anything to offer you either. Academics, who previously streamed on Twitch, embodies the conservative shock jock as a reductive, adversarial, patriarchal figure. Folks, what about DJ Academic strikes you all as fatherly? So they don't mean fatherly, so now they're saying that being a male is a bad thing. Patriarchal, being a male is bad. Resolute on amplifying the worst stereotypes of black people. In his War in Chirac YouTube coverage, which is still up, he called Chicago, quote, a cesspool of coons that live and breed like cockroaches. Said that gentrification in Chicago was necessary because the young black people there, quote, aren't human. Now, you have to get some context on that, so don't take this writer's word for it because he's already shown that he's not trustworthy. And proclaimed, quote, you can't tell me the difference between Chirac terrorists and the ISIS terrorist group. And while he's framed the war in Chirac as his sophomoric attempt at satire, he's carried that conservative pathology into his modern work. The Trump devotee, who said he's, quote, definitely voting for Trump if he wins in 2024 Republican nomination, recently suggested to DJ Vlad that the ongoing trend of prosecutors using far-reaching RICO statutes to arrest prominent rappers is a, quote, cleansing. in a conversation with comedian Funny Marco, he joked that he's the only black person in his neighborhood and tells the cops to pull over any other black people he sees. He's previously been at odds with women in music, getting into tiffs with Megan Thee Stallion, Young Miami, and SZA, calling the latter the B word and getting suspended from Complex. Why are you singling out those? He gets into conflicts with women. He gets into conflicts with every damn body. He gets into conflicts with everyone. What are you talking about? If you didn't know anything about academics, you couldn't rely on this article. Academics, that's his thing. He's like Charlemagne. He's getting into it with folk every single time. That's what he does. He turns on the microphone and he's not as afraid of them as he probably should be. He's not worried about not getting an interview with them. So he just says whatever comes off the dome. But that's not something special for academics. He got into it with 3 women and a whole bunch more men. So your writer here is giving off serious LGBT effeminate male vibes. He's giving off serious moisture vibes. So it's not a pretty picture. It's not a pretty picture. He's making it very clear where he stands on that. So his issue is black men. And the problem is black men. So you see, he's trying to tie conservative right-wingers to black men. And the problem is these black men and patriarchy. There's not a damn thing wrong with patriarchy. There's nothing wrong with men being men. Is there a problem with matriarchy and women being women? Take a look at what's happened over 6 decades of the women running things. Roland Martin sitting up here saying the women are running things so great, we need to get them to abort their children. The women are running things so great, they need to abort their kids at alarming numbers. So Rolling Stone is trying to sit up here and convince you otherwise. They went on to say that he finger wags rappers who live their raps, yet giddily spectates their beefs, earning a fortune and an immense following from his hypocrisy. His body of work has accrued him 5.2 million Instagram followers, 2.7 million YouTube subscribers, and 1.4 million Twitter followers. Outlets like Spotify, Complex, and now Rumble have partnered with him in order to tap into the immense fan base who tuned into his Twitch stream. But while Spotify and Complex reached out to him because he has a following of rap fans, Rumble did so because he has a following of conservative rap fans. And for academics partnering with Rumble. Now, by the way, he didn't say they don't just substantiate that. He just made a statement. He has a following of conservative rap fans. They don't substantiate how that is. He didn't substantiate that. He just makes the statement and keeps on going. So just understand, when you got to resort to naked propaganda, that's because you already lost. They go on to say that, and for academics, partnering with Rumble represents a chance for expansion, but that doesn't mean he hasn't faced criticism from within the rap world. Many rap fans took to social media to bemoan the rise of reactionary figures in rap media. Academics remain defiant, tweeting at one commenter that, quote, "I made myself. Biggest platform because I grinded for it for 15 years. No one gave me S. That's why I can tweet at peons like you, a male bodily organ." Which, by the way, the writer of this article, isn't he advocating that more black men need to... Is he upset with academics, or is he just upset that academics didn't advocate that more? Because the writer of this article sure is big on, a few minutes ago, anti-LGBT. Well, this doesn't sound anti-LGBT to me. This sounds pro-LGBT like a son of a gun. Hell, this is borderline grooming. He's telling random people what they can have dinner on. This doesn't sound anti-LGBT to me. What happened in the anti-LGBT thing? All right. Perhaps as his profile expands, academics feels more like his close peer Adam22, who on a recent episode of his podcast pondered whether or not, quote, people going to be dying to hear me interview underground rappers at 50 after platforming alt-right figure Richard Spencer in March. Their interview has over 463,000 YouTube views and supportive comments like, quote, more of this and less 304s, anti-intellectual rappers, and fist-fighting pimps. A recent Media Matters for America investigation castigated No Jumper as a safe haven for people with bigoted anti-Semitic views through interviews with reviled figures such as Nick Fuentes, Richard Spencer, and the members of the Nation of Islam. So, by the way, you talking about Media Matters, and what's the first thing they sat there and said? Now they've gone from talking about academics to talking about No Jumper. So just understand, these are the dishonest tactics of these people. They don't have anything on you, so they're going to sit up here and try to conflate you to someone else or something else. When you got to do that, you've already lost the argument. You can go get your paycheck for writing this argument for this article for Rolling Stone, but don't expect this to move any numbers or get anybody on your side. Now, he goes on to whine as he ends his article here. And by the way, he talks about No Jumper again in a moment, which shows you how ridiculous he is. Unfortunately, hip-hop wouldn't have become the fulcrum of pop culture without the patronage of people who don't love it or respect its progenitors. Nothing becomes ubiquitous without becoming a little poisonous. So hip-hop, black folk are poisonous is what this writer is saying. It's always been acknowledged that platinum plaques were buoyed by suburbanite listeners who had no proximity or understanding of the places or culture that influenced the genre. They were once a largely voiceless cadre, but the growing crop of online platforms like Academics, No Jumper, and other prominent rap accounts create a feedback loop of engagement with corrosive content that reveals their true nature. So now they're indicting No Jumper. They can't indict Academics, so they're indicting No Jumper. Did you get that? They can't indict Academics. They're indicting No Jumper. So the writer of this article is resorting to this absolutely specious, lying dishonesty by bringing up No Jumper over and over again. And then he puts No Jumper in the same sentence with Academics because he has nothing on Academics. So let's put them in the same sentence together. And hopefully anybody reading this drivel will sit up here and believe that. He goes on to say they may like the latest new rap album, but they also romanticize Trump, demean women, and take glee in mugshots of young black and brown people. Those are their words, not mine. They take glee in mugshots of young black and brown people. Folks, is there anybody who has done more in the last decade to demean black women than Nicki Minaj? Is there anyone out there today doing more to demean and to degrade black women than Cardi B and Meg the Stallion? Making whole songs about their body parts responding. Glorilla. These are straight up hoes rapping. And yet that's not an issue. I mean, they're the ones running the yard right now. And yet you're pointing at Academics, the women he was talking about, Meg the Stallion and Cardi B. Is there anybody who's doing more to degrade women today than them and to popularize it than them? How is that not doing it? Yet, now that's in hip hop, isn't it? So he's not worried about the women going platinum. He's worried about Academics. So that's where he's coming from. So this article is about hate toward black men. It isn't about protecting anybody. This is about hate towards black men. There are plenty of fans who may have rebelled against their right-wing parents musically, but didn't politically. Those are the conditions that Academics takes advantage of as he makes millions from an art form born from protesting systemic inequality, all while platforming and spewing ideas from the very people who sustain systems of oppression. And what's more alarming is that for him, Adam22 and other rap page admins, shifting from covering the rap world to aligning with right-wingers, didn't feel like an abrupt pivot, but an eventuality from people who embody hip-hop's worst patriarchal capitalistic instincts. It says as much about the people who gave them their power as it does about them. So he keeps bringing up Adam22 because he's got nothing on Academics. Otherwise, he would be talking about Academics, but you got nothing on him. And there's plenty to criticize about Academics, but this writer is too inept to be able to do so. And you notice that he kept bringing up the same complaint that Roland did. Did you get that? The writer of this article and Roland got the same damn complaint. Why they paying Academics so much damn money? You know why? Because Rolling Stone don't really pay you nothing, dude. You worrying about everybody else getting the bag. Yeah, because you never got your paper right. Most of y'all are freelance. All of you are starving. So yeah, when you hear from somebody who isn't starving, you keep bringing up how much money they make. I've done broadcasts criticizing Adam 22. I haven't said anything about how much money he makes. I ain't said nothing for how much money he makes. My issue isn't how much money Adam 22 makes. My issue is everything else. And yet the writer of this article kept bringing up the money. Boy, I'm telling y'all got to understand the salt is heavy. I've told you all for years, these writers at the root and these old black media people, man, they ain't paid. None of them are paid. None of them are getting over. None of them had money. They don't have it now. That's it. They all struggle streaming and every damn thing else. They waiting for somebody to get in the bag. Roland Martin is still hoping he can get hired back at CNN. That's the best he ever did. That was the pinnacle of his career, and he ain't going back. So just understand that. I've been warning you forever about this. What they're upset about is that Rolling Stone doesn't speak for the young anymore. Rolling Stone doesn't speak for young people, and it doesn't speak to young people. Rolling Stone isn't where young people go to get their news or information. The only time young people hear about Rolling Stone is if people like me talk about it, or if people like Academic talk about it. But Rolling Stone doesn't have a young demographic base. They don't have it. They're not on their way. They won't get it. They're talking to the same audience that Roland Martin is, the irrelevant and the elderly. And that's why they're mad. Phone lines are now open. The number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933. Let me get caller from area code 214. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, my name is Nicole from Dallas, Texas.
Nicole from Dallas, what's on your mind?
Okay, so I was determined to win this contest and find that Roland Martin video. So I found it a little bit earlier. I'm a newer subscriber, so I couldn't leave. Like, I was going to put it in the chat, but I couldn't put it in there. So I sent you a CashApp with the URL link to that video.
Okay, well, I want you to send me an email. You need to send me an email because it won't show up on there. Thanks for trying, but it won't show up on there. Send me an email at TheBlackAuthority@yahoo.com. That's TheBlackAuthority@yahoo.com. And because you say it's on there, did you timestamp it?
I have the timestamp too, yes.
Okay, because that's kind of very
it's
important.
14:35, but I'll email it to you right now.
Okay, because that's kind of important there. But definitely.
I have it.
Definitely, if you can do that, that would very much be appreciated.
I've been diligently working to find this because I don't even listen to Roland Martin. I just wanted to kind of help contribute to the show as well. So,
okay.
No, I have it.
I'm very glad. She must be new, y'all. We won't hold it against her. Well, like I say, if you found it that quickly, you did a hell of a whole lot better than me. So I'm not sure what magic you worked to be able to do that. Assuming you found it, of course. If you got that, though, I would definitely be glad to have that. So just email that to me, and I'll be in touch with you.
Okay, send it right now.
Thank you very much for giving us a call. We'll wait to see here if that comes up like that. Yeah, like I say, I'm not sure how the hell she did that because Roland's got a landfill full of material. He's got a landfill full of material over there. It is nothing nice. It is nothing nice having to sift through all that. So I don't know how in the hell she found that. She must be a big Roland Martin fan. She don't want to say it. She's saying she's letting out the cat out the bag on the low, but you got to be a big Roland Martin fan. If you were able to find that one, I'll just give you one half of a sentence, and she's like, "Oh, I know exactly when that was." Really? Tell us more. Tell us more. We're not gonna hold it against you. The cautionary tale here tonight is to understand the old black media. I warned you all about this years ago. I warned you back then that they couldn't hold this. I warned you back then about the metrics to really keep your eyes on and really watch out for. The metrics that we need to watch. And so many people, because you wanted things to happen overnight. And I told you, this is not a battle. This is a war. This is not a sprint. It's a marathon. So we gonna have to stay on top of it. We're going to have to stay on top of it. And we have stayed diligent. And you watch as the scales have slowly balanced themselves out. And now they're tipped on our side of it. Roland ain't got a future at this. He doesn't have one. He's going to be desperately trying to talk, but he can already see the writings on the wall. He doesn't have a young fan base that he can appeal to. I told y'all this, remember, many years ago, I told you, who are the young black people who are talking to each other saying, you know what? I wish I could be Roland Martin when I grow up. You haven't heard any young black people saying that Roland Martin is the kind of person they want to be when they get older. Caller from area code 206. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
My name's Mike. I'm calling from Seattle.
Mike from Seattle. What's on your mind?
It's something that you said regarding the agenda, the left agenda, and how they mobilize and weaponize the LGBTQ movement. One thing that bothers me is that nowadays it's hard for a young man to have traditional values of the mother and father in the household. And we was once under attack so many other ways. The black man being the head of that. And now they found a new way to weaponize against the black family. And that if you come across supporting the ideas of having that traditional home, they'll label you anti-LGBTQ and such. But other than that, I just wanted to thank you for having me on, and thank you for all the work you've been putting in.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. We appreciate that. Please do give us a call again. To the young lady who sent me the link and everything, y'all, she sent me a link from last year. So she sent me a link from November last year. So that wasn't the one we were talking about there. That wasn't really the one we were talking about. So that's what I was saying. If she found it like that, she is an amazing individual. If she found it like that, if she was able to do that, that was amazing. So no shade on her. I understand, but that would be a hard thing to do.
I pulled the data in North Carolina, the first day of early voting, and 55% of all those ballot casts were 65 plus. Then you went 55, 45. I think it was about 12% total was 18 to 40. And really, that's about...
Yeah, like I said, I just wanted to play that for y'all so y'all hear. I'm not ganking her out of anything. No, ma'am. This would have been somewhere between 2019 and 2020. So she pulled up something from last year, but she gets points for trying. So she gets points for trying. Let me get caller from area code 850. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Thaddeus Bates. I found it. I already sent it to you. I found the clip.
Okay, well, that makes number 2. Maybe he was yours from 2022.
I know mine's legit because it took it's 1,000 videos. It got a zillion videos. It's like from 4 years ago.
Okay, that could be. That certainly could be.
You should check your email. I sent it. The Black Authority at yahoo.com.
Okay.
And I put it in the chat too.
All right. Well, you won't be able to put it in the chat room because it doesn't allow anybody to put links in the chat room except me and my mods.
Okay.
We're the only ones who can put those in there. But if you email it to me, I'll get it. And like I say, it could have been from 4 years ago. It certainly could have been. I would actually know if it weren't for the fact that YouTube had me sitting up here having to keep my. If everybody wants to, this is a good opportunity for me to go ahead and explain to everybody. The main YouTube channel you all are used to, the Black Authority, that's got over 140,000 subscribers. As a matter of fact, we're getting ready to open that one back up here soon, and this little incident here reminds us of that. But like I say, the broadcast in particular, I'm having trouble finding the broadcast itself. I'm not sure whether or not it was, taken down or something. I'm not sure whether because they removed a bunch of videos from my program, from my page and everything. They removed a bunch of them. So I did that to stop them from dinging my channel anymore. So that was successful.
Yeah.
But by the same token, like I say, I always wanted to keep up with that program because I knew that program was going to come in handy. I knew that program was really a bellwether. That was just a bad look for Roland to do something like that. So I was aware that was the case, but that was a tough one to keep in mind there. So that's the reason why I don't have my own archive to rely on for that. Now I went through it earlier today. I was going through it, but that was an issue there. So
it took me a while to find it though. It wasn't easy to find it either.
Okay, brother, you sent me a link, but you didn't timestamp it, so I'm not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you sent a whole link, but he didn't say when it was.
Yeah, I sent the. It's because it's the hold on. Young voters, Uncle Roro, sick of y'all BS. Let me see.
Okay.
That's yeah, 3 years ago. 3 years ago.
Okay, because
I'll send you the timestamp.
Because that's not the one you just sent me. The one you just sent me is a different
Uncle
one here
Roro.
too, as a matter of fact. So
It says young voters, Uncle Roro, sick of y'all.
okay. Well, here's the thing now. Okay, I want everyone to pay attention because I'm not really sure that you know what you're looking for. So let me repeat this again. The program that I'm referring to, in that program, Roland Martin had made the statement that Biden didn't need all the young black folk who were talking about they weren't going to vote. He said, if all the young black folk talking about you're not going to vote, that's okay because the folk who voted for Biden and Obama, that was the folk in their 50s. So if you don't vote, that's okay. We don't need y'all. Now, that's what Roland said.
Okay.
So if that's not what you came across, if you just came across Roland talking to young people, this ain't about Roland talking to young people. This was when he made the statement that Joe Biden didn't need young voters because him and Obama, their voter base was over the age of 50. So if the young folks don't show up, well, the hell with y'all. We don't need you. Now, that was what he said.
I'm gonna send you the timestamp because he says that shit. He says it.
Okay.
He says it.
Well,
I'm gonna see your timestamp.
Okay, if I get it, I'll let you know. But that would be the thing I would need to see
Okay.
right there. Because if I get that,
Okay.
that would be what I need to know there.
Okay.
All right, brother. Thank you very much for giving us a call.
Broadcast.
But yeah, like I say, that program in particular, because really that was a foreshadowing. When I heard Roland say that, that's the reason I can remember it so many years later. When I heard Roland say that, I was like, so he's basically surrendered the young. He has basically admitted that he can't pull the young anymore. He's basically admitted that he doesn't have an entree to them and that if he's talking like that, then what he's saying is that he's conceding that no amount of effort on his part is going to recover the young black vote. That's what he's conceding. That no amount of work on his part and no amount of effort on his part is going to recover that. That's the issue. Since he can't get it done and it's not happening for him, he conceded that years ago. But the reason for that was because Roland went online. Roland checked his Twitter. Roland checks his Facebook. Roland checks his YouTube. Those are not young black people. And even the ones who are kind of young, they don't represent the black street. The black feminists he keeps bringing on there, they don't represent the black women today. They trying to get a husband. You bring on there some hair weave wearing, fake fingernail wearing, fake eyelash sporting, profane thoughts sitting up here yelling and screaming at people. The females aren't listening to her. They're like, hey, she gonna be single the rest of her life. We're not really interested in what she got to say. We're not really interested. So what Roland demonstrated tonight with all that yelling and screaming that he did at the young people, he's letting you know he is furious. He is enraged because after all these years, he has to concede he has no influence among the young. Which means from here on in, he's just a dying brand. The old black media, I told you all this years and years ago. All I'm bringing you now is the substantiation of what I told you. The old black media is dead. And now even they are running for cover. Caller from area code 904, you're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
How you doing, man? How you doing, man?
What is your name? Where
Hello?
you calling
Can you hear me?
from?
My name is Derek, man, out of Jacksonville, Florida.
All right, Derek. Well, I hope the antihistamines and anti-decongestants work for you. What is on your mind?
Man, my mind is on black people, man. One thing I got to say, man, is we got to stick together, man. We can't be sitting up here just giving our vote to Democrats, man. Democrats ain't for us. Cause I would have never voted for Biden. I would have never voted for Trump. I would have never voted for Hillary, man. But I did vote for Obama. I did vote for Biden. But man, I'm just sick of voting for these people, man. They're not doing anything, man. And in Jacksonville, Florida, man, I mean, it's so segregated, man. It's ridiculous, man. I mean, it's like white people stand on one side of the bridge, black folks stand on, and you know, every major city is black people on the north side. You know what I'm saying? On the west side, you know, it's mixed, but you know what I'm saying? That's my dominant area, man. I'm just sick of politics, man. I don't know what else to say, man.
Well, when you go through Jacksonville, like I say, the white folks are driving the new cars and the black folk are driving the old beat up ones. That's when you know
what's going on, man.
know you're in Jacksonville when you see that.
Yeah, you breaking up, man. I'm gonna hang up.
All right, y'all. He's his Obama phone. He said he voted for Obama, so the phone came through. At least that happened. But yes, Derek is gonna work on. He's going to work on those allergies. But in any case, here, definitely, folks, they've lost the young. We made an investment in the young a decade ago. We made an investment in appealing to them. We made an investment in representing them and speaking for them. And what the young people impressed on me a decade ago was that I had to speak against the establishment, both Republican and Democrat. I couldn't speak for the establishment. I couldn't be a mouthpiece for the establishment. I couldn't chase a radio deal or a television deal or an advertisement deal. I couldn't chase none of that. The young wouldn't let me do that. The only way I could chase a radio deal, I had to turn out like Roland and be completely compromised. Roland doesn't want to talk to young folk because the young folk understand, nigga, you are compromised. You're phony. You're fake. And the young people won't listen to him. So you see, Roland was supposed to deliver that young vote to Hillary Clinton, and he failed. Biden comes up here and he had to wait for Trump to get unpopular. But Roland didn't deliver anything then. Now Roland is sitting here bracing for impact because he's looked at his own numbers on YouTube. By the way, Roland doesn't want to release his numbers on YouTube. He don't want to release his demographics. He doesn't want to release that 18 to 34 demographic. He don't want to do that. Roland doesn't want to let people see if he really appeals to anybody under the age of 35. He doesn't want to show you how much of that audience he got. Or should I say he doesn't have. He doesn't want you to see that. He wants you to think everything's sweet and everything's okay, and it's not. He wants you to think everything's sweet and everything is okay, and it isn't. It is not okay. We talk to a demographic they can't touch. We talk to a demographic under the age of 40. Roland Martin's talking to a demographic over the age of 50. He don't want you to see that. We found a way to sit up here and talk about politics and make it accessible to young people. Make it understandable to young people. And we just do X's and O's. But young folk understand when their survival is at stake and they need somebody to speak up for their issues and be unapologetic, they know where to go. And it ain't Roland Martin. They ain't trying to talk to Roland. They're not trying to figure out how to speak to him. Because they know he doesn't understand anything. But they're not speaking to him. He doesn't get it and he's not going to get it. So now he understands the writing is on the wall. Before now, he was just looking over here at the Black Channel. He was looking at the new black media. Now he's looking everywhere and realizing, yeah, people are very much interested in having an alternative, because he doesn't speak for the streets or to the streets. He doesn't speak for them. He's had decades now to show he's got some type of street credibility and some way he can fit in to show that he's got something he's got to offer young people. They going through things out here and Roland's trying to tell them it's their fault. They're going through things out here and he's trying to tell them it's their fault. He's trying to tell them that if they tried differently, it'd be better for them, but it's their fault. Because Joe Biden said... Because Joe Biden told him, well, you know what? If you would just wake up and recognize that it's your own fault that happened to you. If you just understand, if you did things a little bit differently, it could have been better for you here now. Somebody in the chat room was asking about Zoom. I actually don't really run Zoom very much on this channel, but I'll make a special dispensation for you tonight. So... throwing the Zoom link in the chat room. I'm trying to get a hold of it so I can pin it. If YouTube quits messing around. All right. Went ahead and go ahead and throw that up for you. Go ahead and throw that up for you here. But if you want to join us on Zoom, like I said, I don't usually do Zoom on this YouTube channel. I don't usually do that, but I'll make a special dispensation for you here tonight. I'll make a special dispensation for you. Not going to give all night for it here because we've been on here for a minute. I know they're hating it over there. I know they're hating it. And we're going to give them more to hate on. We're going to give them more to hate on. Can you imagine, folks, if it is this bad for them now, can you imagine how bad it's going to be? If it's this bad for them now, can you imagine how bad it's going to be? Can you imagine what it's going to look like for Roland in 2-3 years when he's trying to hold on to that base? Okay. The brother sent me a video from, it's not actually Roland Martin, it's actually The Hill. So he actually sent me a video from The Hill. It's not that, no, I'm talking about this was a video on Roland Martin's YouTube channel, sir. Folks, do y'all see why I don't like to do things like that? Because folks will just send me anything. They're not embarrassed. They'll just send me anything. So, by the way, just so you can find out if it's worth anything.
Young voters, whether you're black or white or Latino, Asian, doesn't matter. Okay, tweeting don't mean jack. It's who votes. Old people vote. My parents are 72. They work the polls. That means they're going to be there every election. And so Joe Biden is riding that way because what he needs are people who are going to turn out. Not people who are going to say, make me feel good, feel excited. No. Who is going to turn out?
Well, and so do you think, I mean, there's a clear generation.
Like I say, he was a lot nicer on that here, so... I don't know. I'll go back and check it. Maybe he said it around that time. That was January 2020. Maybe I'll go back and check to see because I've already checked my programs about that. Maybe I will, but that's not the clip I'm talking about. No, what he had to say was a lot more straightforward. So no, it's on Roland Martin's actual YouTube channel, not a different one. But like I say here, folks, they're worried, they're scared, they are doing all the things I warned you about here before. They're falling to pieces, and furthermore, they should be. It's all falling down. Roland is admitting that they lost the youth. He has come unglued, he's come unhinged, and they should be. In any case, we're going to go ahead and wrap things up here tonight. If you are new here to the Black Channel, welcome to the Haven of Intelligent Black Thought. We do this every weekend. Click that red subscribe button. Click that yellow notification bell. Join us each and every time that we are here. If you are, and no, the Zoom is wide open, so if they need a meeting ID, they're on somebody else's Zoom. So, no, it doesn't need a meeting ID. It's their fault. If you If you have not subscribed, if you have not gone to go check out our website, blackchannelfilms.com, you want to go there and check out our groundbreaking best-selling documentary work, 7 a.m., Gentrified, Race War, all available on DVD and streaming. Go to blackchannelfilms.com. That is blackchannelfilms.com. I want to thank everyone who has contributed to support tonight's program on PayPal, Cash App, Super Chat. Larry's Anything Goes, Local Land Farm Co-op. Thank you very much for your support tonight. We appreciate that. Josephine, Cassandra, everyone else here. Big shout out to Famously Blacker again. Thank you to everyone who's joined us. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of The Black Channel. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, The Black Authority. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters around the world, remember, black is the future and the future is uncompromising.